Ale fonsaje de.
Ale fonsaje.
Ale fonsaje.
Ale fonsaje.
Muna dabo sanka baluo.
Ale fonsaje.
Mbe useni dabo julalema.
Ale fonsaje.
Juloka man la maje.
Ale fonsaje.
Ni aja man la maje.
Ale fonsaje.
Suluo simbene da.
Ale fonsaje.
Useni mansata.
Ale fonsaje.
Alale amansandi.
Ale fonsaje.
Mbaro da bodima.
Ale fonsaje.
Mbaro da bodima.
Ale fonsaje.
Numukunda da bodima.
Ale fonsaje.
Alale bate jola.
Ale fonsaje.
Mansole bate jola.
Ale fonsaje.
Aye Gambia bondi bata kono.
Ale fonsaje.
Maje molu bele se wota.
Ale fonsaje.
Alabe nyinkera
Ale fonsaje.
Manso be nyinkera
Ale fonsaje.
Usen bota nyani dobo.
Ale fonsaje.
Dobo gae Usen.
Ale fonsaje.
Anata kombo tumami.
Ale fonsaje.
Londo nata kulli.
Ale fonsaje.
Okae lo adabo.
Ale fonsaje.
Ayadoku hoge Gambia
Ale fonsaje.
Gambia kae Mandela.
Ale fonsaje.
Mayinduru kema.
Ale fonsaje.
Alafo salida bokema.
Ale fonsaje.
Adale bate jola.
Ale fonsaje.
Jilasi sedima.
Ale fonsaje.
Kanja mane dimma.
Ale fonsaje.
Sali suare dimma dem.
Ale fonsaje.
Jari jalo dimma.
Ale fonsaje.
Jari fulo dimma.
Ale fonsaje.
Tida si sedima dem.
Ale fonsaje.
Munaninte tata mailitu.
Ale fonsaje.
Munante nimpumbole mude.
Ale fonsaje.
Juguna.
Yo, assalamu alaikum baringolo on talam sahihu kalbe bismillah yuri kamnai bandala bi dimas lumba September korote morning nano the 24th of September 2023 kalbe bismillah program moto yuri kamnai bandaba dimas lumba not a special program is a interview with the Lord Mayor interview with the Mayor of KMC Lord Mayor Talib Bensouda bal kontona bake alle dunia da wara mbakla la baraka bake alkala wati kumal menta alka naka logam to UDP online bantamani na da wati alka malke dankuna go appreciate bake de mbafla le welcome board to another edition bal kontona wa alaikum salam Aisha Sedi kan marika mani bitang imbara salam na cousins na punjai Omar Sani Kal Karamo Bojan Dembo Ture Melbe Contodola Kadi Motosulo Melbe Germany Le Contona Budemba Mbalbe Contona Bake Kalbe Bismillah Katato me alon combinaso for the Nato Domani Lord Mayor Talib Bensouda Internal 19:45 p.m. in the UK, that's 6:45 p.m. in the Gambia, and that should be 8:45 p.m. in mainland Europe. So janing na luntang minarek na kachanding domanin shoto janta benson mala na njawala na nata janate bina. Program on yimba das lanin duwala alamandu na kono kaira kono ngafuta kono kaira kono. Mina di amol men kala jase ke di amoti me alon control base na fasu je na patio sana fasu je alma alay kairo control klinkle na di mbayel na patio fana alma alay kambenta kambe men tema o sabatindi je na nyato ngolo man sa talay men di nyato pour lafta men sutlanga soto in 2026 mbalbe kontona backing adwa sasa toliye kuran toli ala mela sasa kende ala melbe jata kende jata knabe melbulu an setala jata kende continue ka dina ne soldo bol kay tumbulu be dola sabante frewol fane ala mani mani ko kle ba wodwa kuma yata bake bawo min duniya nata luntan yalla jam an setala isa yale follow de raja nabe definitely jannabe felko jeno Abaraka Baka Sister Jenaba Jallo, who has just donated us 500 stars. Thank you so much, Sister Jenaba Jallo. Much appreciated. Mbarindingulom in Sweden. But I just over 500 stars. Mashallah. Baraka. Thank you to everybody. Be along with the log on platform to right now. mbokk yi maa ngi la naan bismillah juuti ba may banta ba tey dimanche ñaari fukki fan ak ñeneent si weeri septembre di leen gërëm support pour ngeen di jox juuti ba may banta ba di leen nuyu bu baax a baax. Hope you had a good weekend. Sadly it's the end of the weekend, back to business. Tomorrow is Monday. Tey nag programme bi du current affairs show dañ war a am interview ak Mayor Talib Bensouda. Waaye Lord Mayor bi dina war a ñëw fii boori 19:45 p.m. UK mooy 6:45 in the Gambia, 8:45 in mainland Europe. balaa ma ñëw rek am na yeneen waxtaan bi ma war a def fii waaye comme liñ ko dee defee si programme yi rek doore programme yi ñaalalante yàlla suñu borom defal ñu jaama sutura ñu na suñu jabootu may ñu wér gu yaram ñoo xam ne amuñu wér gu yaram suñu yàlla may leen ko yàlla ñoom tane ñoo xam ne dañ génn si àdduna comme lu ma dee wax fii suñu warugal la pour ñu ñaanal ñooñu suñu borom géegal leen seen baakaar yi mu may leen àjjana bu sedda bi pati bi tamit ñu ñaan yàlla juboo bi continuer ñu ñaanal suñu njiit yi yàlla ñu yàgga suñu kanam so yàlla suñu borom ñaan suñu nangu suñu ñaan yi lu may wax fii rek Lord Mayor dina ñëw fii si kanam tuuti su ñëwee dinañ wax si fan na first 100 days of his second term in office mu nekk second time yi nekk mayor of KMC tunda boo xam ne the second biggest region in the country after West Coast. Dafa nekk a very important region, the Kanifing municipality. So dinaa waxtaan ak Talib Bensouda si after first 100 days moom tamit his role as the organizing secretary of United Democratic Party dinañ si duga dinañ laal national issues yi tuuti after dëkk bi while we will not talk about the issue right now, the ongoing the tragedy. Loolu du bokk suñu waxtaan xanaa su fekkee ne loolu Mayor dafa bëgg a jaale def condolence because that really important lu tax duñ si dugga mooy ne affaire baa ngi ne ko investigation and it's just ethical that Lord Mayor bi buñ ko dugga si to have his comments on those things because the matter is being investigated and possibly it will go to court. So ñun ñoo xam ne ñu si platform si ñun we can give our views but we don't want to put our mayor in that precarious situation. The comment loo xam ne comme party leader lu mu wax moom du si comment because the matter is subject of investigation right now. So we will not just draw the Lord Mayor into that, and I will also crave the indulgence of the audience. We will open the lines for 15-20 minutes question times, but please do not ask any question in regards to this tragedy. To have the Lord Mayor's opinion on it, please, the interview is not going to touch on that because the matter is subject of investigation right now, and like the party leader said, he's not going to comment on it. The matter is going to court. We are pundits on platforms. You can give our view, but we don't want to put our officials in that situation. So interview is not going to touch on that. Talib Bensouda, Lord Mayor bi dina waxtaan ak moom si affaire UDP taxawaayam ak role am bi as national organizing secretary and what holds for UDP right now. Dinañ juga moom liggéeyam lu moo def KMC. We'll touch on that. So people who may be calling questions, please do not ask questions in regards to this ongoing tragedy on this issue of Ousainou Bojang or whatever. That's not the purpose of this interview. That question, if the question is asked, I as the moderator, I'm going to overrule it for this program. So please bear that in mind. So mbadi wala ala barka dake nkabe foni sura kamoto bolam ning mayo bena kachala ala dokuala ala first 100 days comme tilike momenke ala new second term munal be kekam. Naloneko Municipal Library, Lord Mayor announced on the 23rd of August the first municipal library for KMC. Doku jamal lebe kekanji. Bodu nga moyate fongola, mon doku lebe kekam. Nga je fanang ay toll-free number ke, ala page to comment toll-free number wolom. Momo be KMC. Ilafta I hajos to me alonko akumayata le show number call for toll free ngano 1244 if I start to be corrected I often launch I announce so na be kachala la dokola be kacha fanan atelo UDP la national organizing secretary party la karola be ko fanan kachala abe mo dokul le ke kanji pour UDP pour ngam fa prepare for 2026 anin ba nyini ngala fanan atela jero to mum mistakes like at 2021 that we can improve upon because Talib is part of the national executive and he has a very important role. He's the national organizing secretary of the United Democratic Party. In retrospect, looking backwards to 2021, what could we have done better? ba ñinin kala wala nabi diam lo ko jala bari nga men fo jo wolom ñing mo farming kara media souls continue to rest in peace the two PI officers me alam go diamo be ke kam social media ni Lord Mayo kachata before ina interview lan defo nga fu ko manta o question ñinin kala because comme party leader fo ñami o mo kulete me alam ko man sekunda be kisi rola je sai possibly ko bita courtless so no official lu man la fi ke put into the interview yana ko ma fo je me alam ko patio sina jala ro soto je yalo go UDP njaw kumbal ben normally ka sotaro soto no koto so ni nata ko kacha jam talib nata kuma fo iba fulal ko UDP le nyum fo so we try to avoid that ndol me yalo ko mudiamu laleti monkey officials of the party in Gambia ndol sen individual opinion or dinon sa kacha no le whatever but no official lolu man la fike dundi wodiamol ko because yalo ni mobe nyini kam mobe kunyini ka kama iti a try be borla la nyami amanke ko silatale but we just have to be smart when we dealing with this government so what interview on so mbal fonan danila mele yalon ko because be line o yela la ni talib na tajan na kachata le Lord Mayo ngay ko jani momo na tajam fo ngana audience ul fonan buli ni ka question wala so ning talib la interview 1 hour mamla be tambela wala na program wala 1 hour interview then after 15 to 20 minutes me line ol yela la mo se call ke al se Lord Mayo ñinin ka rol meso bar mo kana ñinin ka ñi faro men karaji please anu ni momo ya ñinin ka I will use the moderator role to overrule that question so that's why I'm just telling you in advance please do not ask that question amanka consilatale but UDP already en jalaile ali alon ko wo government spokesperson mo kuntango me alon ko am ate ala role for more long I will tell you UDP to on this one don't avoid the official rule you comment on this thing for the investigation you go back and then you bang for fabita kitiola fata kitiola then we'll cross the bridge when we reach there okay ala baraka bake janni Lord Mayo mina da no mena nata diamo dole sene ndi jam ba nguno be sharing Gambia le nguno me alon ko ngalon to la media team of being a meeting soto UDP la media team me alon ko speakers media team mo jama bj Bob Touré will be la wandi fawulu kata bamfa kamara wulu Mark Jani sa Sedi Bamba Mas Lamin Shilla Nakeba Saddam Sanyang and in the head of the media team Makam Sow Kekemdo Sana Jaju just I'm trying to remember from the Fatin Sabali Keba Sabali Aisatuba all these major speakers all MB Fanan Bidjal MB Krubali diaspora la media team ngafo janne ko media team ole londi me alon ko nga diamol tenten ka jibe ndamal se kata ko la jani diamol de funtila manyin soto nunu in 2020 before 2021 so mbe attack kan ka cool better yandi so diaspora la executive me alon ko wole marta UDP diaspora la tamandiro Kenya la ko bo chedi kan na nyato ngaya anin ma for the chairman deputy media team also me alon ko makam la head intela la deputy nsita la ngani group of form so ku na minare nka silen ka ko tente nga kacha nga jibe mfana nga kolbe ke miran killing esa jawla fana be wo diamla konole wala na tofu mandia so nimma men tofu amanke ko ngi mari disrespect I'm just even maybe program on the tool for them the tool be jibe no for ngata into the group ka jibe mol men baby je being a meeting ko masoto me alon ko meeting o meta bake na faso to taje because menketa albala na diamo be kerine WhatsApp group formal kono ani Facebook ngalon gon na chairman o Boubacar Sidik Jammeh fana be group kono le yaje di mombe diam kamila Boubacar Sidik Jammeh atebe Gambia fana be media team kono le anu ngalon ko say nominated member of KMC afana be group kono pinga meeting ko male soto menketa diamo be sharing Facebook diamo be sharing WhatsApp kono ngalon ko samalem na chairman ba chairman Yankuba Dabo nyanta tala ala kitio me yalan ko man sekunda ya bulinda kama samale be kala la second court hearing no comment dol UDP ngol nga nyo face ale to nyakam ngalon ne ko ni chairman be funtila mol ka bula normally solidarity abanke protest anu dol ka confusion ko jam mantra protest kam solidarity wolon ka lo nyoy which is normal because hani Gambia ni badi mo bita court hani sefo e badi mo kuma ni kitiola dol nga mel long badi mo ka bula normally ka solidarity so UDP be wole ke kanjan chairman Yankuba Dabo na chairman olom yes West Coast bela chairman olom ba UDP la londi fa gagneta UDP la support fa gagneta mafun tol dambale nga kato fa e batin tol la candidate so ni man sakunda kitio wulinda kama menyi nyata wolom abita dame ngabula noma and UDP ko dole ke kam mantra luwa tinyakan mantra marabaliya ke kam mantra mammoje be police wolu attack kan police wolu nen kan mawoje nim police wolu evidence to ko UDP ko ke attack le challenge ya evidence of bondi because they should be able to bring evidence imanya na allegation wal kala UDP kan dro ka foko ha UDP le tonyin dro ke wolte ninten wo kumo ni to na manna so nyinketale ngaje mama ngol bengera la fesco so saying kunu nga information wala shoto me a foko iko police wolu allegation olom ikachata le ko this time ibe UDP coming ita cool sumende la UDP mol bulu yenyi na foko ibe in fact threats have been said ko the life ammunition use lale ka kido use pour ka UDP ko ka nakasudu nono ke so ntolu media team on kachata nyina ngaje ko nyimu kumol te me alon ko silandre kumolom and ntolbe lori menna comme fat sen sabale audio men bondi bi anin mag jane wole programme men ke bi ntol UDP diaspora la media team mbe kambenta nyina la ko mbe mem fola mole wolo nyinti ko mo kana sila nyimbe mo silandre kumol leti ka foko be kido le tala kamul bo adama baro la mansa kunda hani yaya jamme fo ka kido ta kamul bo ni fundita na jele ko ya lo ya dabo to 2016 kata court munan na ya jamme la sojorol ka kido fay mul kan amanke so adam baro la mansa kunda ta kala nyimbe mo silandre kumol leti ilafta munela e malla fi UDP andon tol fana na UDP ka dol fana biji wol fana ke churumpen wol kanne. There is what they call counterintelligence. Mafoko ni mansa kunda man kuriya ngalone ko nyille kuriya ta nyinoti. Bari ni yen silence ndi. Mbe menkela wolo nyiti ni Boubacar Sidi wol kata mbe menkela wolo nyiti atol membe alon ko ali ngani yosoto kata ji. Ala try alienyu alienyu crossi alienyu look after. Be pare ni police ole nakasudu no ke comme last time menkela ramo sabal ba ko mon video shot. Now, Moyle Dronko, Ramos Sabari, Iboita Kane, but there was no video footage. And no Niman video shot, I can call le pruke la case nim fight. So, ni smartphone jamano, Dwari dolu start tele kafoko, ha alisi shwokono, al tenin. Nin sonta, Adama Baro succeed. Because ilaftamuna la come UDP nkol kana ye si ye tenkung, itoli complete control shot. Like diam jamale moy. Diamol siata diamol be kekam Facebook oto momo e kuma yen fo kuma kanan fo democracy lo bari mtolenga call tenten mbe diamo ka UDP diaspora na position media team la position me alongo bi mo tanni nani nyin diamo la lo mel ka diam UDP la be nga meeting soto ngani ko tale momo diam taji position ye kibaro men din bulantolo bulu pour nga fo gambieno li ko a alla right lo port kata ka solidarity ma parce que bari ma fo moyta ye police o attack mafo anu ngalo wote kala mafo moyta yena kasudu non ke police la but to go orderly is within our constitutional right pour kata law bari ketol be damen police yal dandi damen alkana tambini jela because homo law atinality nim police ko ale law jam allo barricades koma because nim police barricade hani to abudu jam ko kale barricade o yake dame ite ko be barricade o cross la deni be police be boy ke karne so wonin kumen ketela itel be boy kam police kan so tol nga media team on tol ganyene kacha andum jama e ka moneke aliyar remember janne bari mayor election o kana si NPP ka kibarul bondile occasionally e kan on mol use isana teninte nga fo janne ha yenyi election o win ne fo kawam so na modol silata anu ngaje ko dolba fo kan ko ha iko NPP te Adam Barrow te kido because Adam Barrow I'm just putting a conditional statement Adam Barrow e kido use kamol for life ammunition what Adam Barrow ni yaya jamme betalla in categorically ne comme dunia be bulakan yaya jamme no manyame ka samba heek ka kitindi hani sa yaya jamme ganien ol ba normale pour ka samba Adam Barrow fana betalla in the same basket because para e kilo use it will on the command of IGP Sanyang and in Mamudu Show and in Jumale will be like commander in chief wala Adama Barrow. So Adama Barrow will be held to account if any Gambian happens to die in that protest because mulumantara luati nyakam. But in tolu banku dingolu fana nim probleme kala ningatara ye fia dundin kungol kono silo kamulu silandi for aya tinna sign UDP ko dole ka audio boni ka fo mole alsi swokono ha woto mbe banko jebal la ngadi yaya jamela sorry Adama Barrow la nga fay no men diati yaki banku dingo ila nyanto nyanta ka fight. All right. Banku dingolu ala la nyanto ntol okay ikamune fanam fo atole be tubabu dule. Okay. Yes, ntol be tubabu du baro mu circumstance la di. Birin tol nata no election la comme fa ten saba ya fo nyaadi ntol bota janen tata Gambia ise mutale nu 2021 ndunda dulal to nte aliantel alcantela diamol moy campaign dulan ka même fo platform to jam birin Gambia ko le fo ni lota platform to ndiamuta sukutale kombo sukuta ndiamuta nyumi in many programs ndiamuta kombo ngamira kombo fo kiti lombang ndiamuta platform la jamal to anu na diamol be ngaw même fo banta bajam ngol fo adama baro corruptale adama baro la domoro $150,000 corruption oli sunya rabe barari andun tolu momo be jang alnyanta me understand na to nyala tol be Gambia la bari tol membe diamu kan jang folin tol tada Gambia we don't have the risk pour yam fana muta yen samba questioning. Yes, the risk is there. So ala foko ha atolu bukan na anu ngani ndiamu moy Gambia drone like ngani nyim fo jona Senegal afele la diaspora ko be mamanka Senegal la diaspora ko kata Facebook live le kata TikTok ikafo Senegal ol genalen gen defli ba itamale Senegal ol ya fo wole ko ha na la tal fo le na yalon Gambian to la ku kolon koleata because ala len tol domo kino ke jang diaspora bari na banko kanole fana yati nan ka diam Gambia ko because sino le ngana hajol topoto nda mfana nganda boni Gambia ko diaspora nana to kodi bondola ala lon ko diaspora le ka kodo bondi mainly mafoko melbe soko na baka kola so nde kanya na no kodi bondoto nde kanya na no pro ka funti fana right ni ndol membe be media team oto ja wallahi nimbe Gambia yangs dabo la kola so nata yamaro men fana ndi and wo yamaro be futala UDP executive malle ni yangs dabo bita court amanke ko party militants ol damale nyanta fundla UDP la executive funding kewolo manke balfo ajaratu yam sek wol fon na ba nyama wol fon nyanti fonyo la kata wol keba yatale ajaratu yam ndaw ge yabo wolu da sukaina ka wolu keba yatale keba falangol wol keba funding kewol le nyanta de litala kata court aliaje le gan aliaje Senegal funding kewol le ka lita so bari nyimu kule de me alongo UDP la diaspora media nkatata na keba mbocheri kan ngalon tumanda be nyindi amu frandila executive male bari nko ngafo janko ngani position ole ta nkana sila counter intelligence la because counter intelligence yaje me fonka use le no meta for jande counter intelligence wala ketanu jang mayoral election e kan na mol use ka fo ko NPP be election o sunya la already so nindo la mol fundita yo diamo kere ibaje lan ko ka vote a party le cause na mol sa fo what's the point bitala o domanding aya tinambe fola ni local government election ba ala nata ndema people like Boubacar Sidiki Jammeh wol fundita nan kamul hanyindi ka fo mole al funti NPP mani election o sunya diam la jama funtita nan kanyin diam fo wayati na mul funtita nan so ebe disen tactique la ke ganya anun député wolo comme na barindi ko ba fo ka nyami Janaba Jallow na député wolo ali funti ali tambi funding ke wol nyato UDP député wolo nal mantara National Assembly sessionola alman any excuse soto munan nal tita solidarity sola with chairman yang stabo last time nga nyini ngaro kale iko National Assembly be session wala wala tin almantaje bari inko UDP député wala tobe ku yakanni ntolbe media len ka kumo bele moy ngala alfa nanga moy iko ali palace wala nyini alla hajolo jarata ali motol soto ali cool soto say hani court cases alka rank and file members of the party alcohol bula atolla hajo jarata de moneka because député wala to lawmakers to tumando natol be nyim funding ke wol nyato paral tumando se sila ye nakasudu no ke kudo ke but UDP la MPolu yangs double in first court case mol maje so sama we are watching file bitala al kana dungal la moto nyimalla ngamadi sise jele honde madi sise ala ko tonyate safiro kele ay paral fon la babu jengna netalo si ajele fo malon dia iko diamo jamale fon keda biko nga kibarol moyle fana iko IGP Sanyang ani Mamadou Sow isonkatale bo nyumu kibarol te melna tan tolia iko isonkatale iko allegation olo nyenti reportedly I don't know how true it is iko Mamadou Sow fon was very angry with IGP Sanyang ko am IGP Sanyang fon ateleka cool is in the UDP kolbol iko mune kamfa iko UDP kol yela netalo le ben share social media after war first court case mentamanga on the 7th iko UDP kol babu jeng wala netalo si iko paral ko be kamfa UDP kamale so enyin kala bari nyimbe mu ndolla jero ton nyimun ndolla observation wala ti and information on that and told for it's within our right we examine the information mafo kon tolga men fole correct but ndolla kafo ndolla media team on tolga koje nyame anu ngalon kuma yen fo kuma kanam fo audio yalla ni audio nte boke lamay because ngama ko audio to dolba fo kanol ka ha al kanata okay ntol ma fo moyta amata bari momel lafle tala like Boubacar Sidik Jambe waya fo ko inshallah to betar la jele sama anu he's going to be there so mol bi jele mel ko they are ready to go and he is very law abiding our UDP college law abiding so this is the message from the UDP media team pour ka tamdal la ko nying intimidating tactics amanya na work la because nin sonta baro gagneta nin pareta baro gagneta information how this mind game on information ko baro will have dominance UDP ngolu hani ko funto mole tala keri kanne anu then ya jame absolute control soto nyami Gambia adama baro fana mbole absolute control soto la so non kibaro te me yalon ko nga soto ma wako si olof pour sum bokki olof itam dega ko amna xibaar buñ dega si ñu ne xibaar bi si police la jóge ne dinañ use force dinañ use on heavy handedness iva amna ñoo xamne dañu wax ne dinañ use fetal waaye lii ñun buñ ko sega xool waxtaan bi ñu gis na li this could be counter intelligence on us and this could also mean that even sokene degala they ñoo try pour tiital waaye because ya Adama Barrow nguuram bi jëne jaafut la dofu pour ñu use live ammunition man that's my view Yaya Jammeh sax bu mu fa nekkoon Yaya Jammeh daf daan employ jongolas te jongolas suñu doon rey nit yi dañ day dem si they were doing it secretly dañoo dem si guddi ñu rey openly kenn mësuta gis Yaya Jammeh apart from the student demonstration 2000 when live ammunition was used court cases pour ñu dem court mësu ñoo gis Yaya Jammeh pour mu soldaarami fetal ñoo xam ne ñu ne ñoom they went to the court sessions of Lawyer Darboe and others to Yaya Jammeh nguuram bi suñu deful loolu then why would Adama Barrow's government do it te Adama Barrow su fekkee ne loolu la bugg a def ñu ngi ko woon ne su defee loolu bakken bu fa des Adama Barrow will be held to account just like we are going to hold Yaya Jammeh account for all the killings that happened under his regime because Yaya Jammeh ba léegi àdduna bi ñu ko soxla Lota Yaya Jammeh is in self-exile, is in exile in Equatorial Guinea. Lota Yaya Jammeh nanguta Guinea because Yaya Jammeh hamna ne should take tankam in any other country apart from Equatorial Guinea. Aduna bitnanyo the long arm of justice will reach him. So Adama Barrow su fekkee ne yow amna ñu nekk ci sa police bi ñu ngi plan lii well the onus is on you because UDP suñu right la pour ñu dem so solidarity with Chairman Yang Darboe waxuñ kenn dem attaque police yi te lu ma doon advice yi tamit ñoo xam ne dañ bugg a génna soo leen génna ngeen follow the loi bi instruction of the police so police yi def barricade ñu ne taxaw leen ci gannaaw barricade bi kenn warta forcer boppam ne da nga cross the barricade because police barricade soo ko crossé rek yaa ngi tooñ yóbbut leen fa te xam naa ne Yang Darboe du encourage kenn pour nga yaaxal loi bi ko moom si boppam lawyer la so this is the message from the UDP media team ku si d'accord tam baax na because dañ am meeting tey ñu assess this information and meeting boo xam ne meeting bu gudda la meeting bi yaaga na torop and everybody spoke waaye ñëpp ñu fa waxtaan benn wax bi la ñu wax ne we should not allow the government to intimidate us because the fear mongering that they are trying to do to try to inculcate fear within the UDP loolu su succeedé rek kon da ngaa gis ne Adama Barrow ngayam lu leen neex la ñoo new continuer di def si dëkk bi so this is the message from the UDP media team ñu ngi jërëm the members of that team we will continue doing this because that's why this group is formed waaye ñun mënuñoo control UDP members ñoo dem si forum bi wax let me make that clear let me just emphasize that point meanut ne you will not have one or two UDP members in Gambia whatever or another country jóg rek wax ñooñu seen wax la ñun media team bi suñu wax bi lañ mun try control but we cannot control opinion of UDP members because party bi ñun ñëpp si am ñun mënuñoo censor somebody sitting in Japan or China tell telephone bi wax xalaatam because we understand there are people in groups who are advocating for some people to stay at home we don't agree with them and we are advising those people not to scare people bu leen tax nit yi ñu lax na because nguur gi planuñ pour ñu use live ammunition loolu wax pour tiital leen rek at most what they can use is tear gas Buy Adama Barrow nguram talk even 3 year jotna. They didn't use live ammunition. This doesn't make sense. Lot of using live ammunition 3 year jotna. They just use tear gas. Last time, all the incidents in Brikama, but Mamadou Sabale Demfa. When Mamadou Sabale went to Brikama nomination, police that had altercation with supporters of Mamadou Sabali. They did not use live ammunition. So what are they? Why are they going to use live ammunition? The use of live ammunition. Kido prukal shilandele manta kidi use la. It's a main use no on tear gas. Tear gas be yo kele yo kani lawyer double kora kone tear gas so far deal. But the man live ammunition so far. So until left them for alini audio janjani ni musilandir kumolati manta live ammunition use la. Tear gas at worst scenario if tear gas or use la. So at Emela Bake, wato be sila pour Lord Mayor Talib Bensouda ina ba message la le follow do mangala situation along because wato nyinga mendiala asitale de ni Talib nata rek na be do na interview kon albe la maka juri online bantaballa nying mama o membe Gambia mbe dun no tole demanding ba wo diamo bu kabang ba wo saying Gambia lo ni momo diam tarki arrest so okay, ga message oki mayole na so Gambia sa ni momo di am tanga manka janjele yo mute ko ya charge. All right, iko interference with the witnesses. Okay, diamul be sharing banko kan. All right, bari mbe kuma men fola wala nyinti ko momo responsible ta nyim fondinke wala sayala wallahi Gambia no be tonyalon nale because ndebe damen te sewu sedi li ndema la nyim polijol la andu wo mona nyantolte ni ben samba la court wala yen samba du wo dun defendo wo defendo di atale yeah, so wo defendo di atale bare sa ni momo di amta iko kana nyinge so akamte ka kule mabo ntemale kamule mabo so at the end of the day aku jahalo wartale nga audio jamale moy wo mari wol fanan na opinion no woti do la fola allegedly nyin drug wole dun taje drug operational which went wrong ibe police wol tumi kan be kuma jama fo kan bare ndengalon ku killing mama jabi wo mu kalabante baleti bare Lord Mayor fela be dun kan nan sai sai ngana interview on start then say continue program wala Lord Mayor yangi mute.
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum.
Cecily. Walaikum salam. Walaikum salam.
Lord Mayor nakam yangi alright. Yamadega. Okay, the video just went. Okay, we'll have Lord Mayor on very soon. I think his video has there's something happening with the video, but hopefully we'll have. Okay, I'll be like you okay, Mayor yang hana lifin mi lifa am problem ba du guide la sabotage Yamadiga legi Yamadiga. Are you hearing me? Okay, we seem to have connection issues there, but I think Mayor would fix that and come back to the studio. In the meantime, Johnny Minalarek, like I said, please, we will create Q&A session for if you have questions to ask, you can put it in the comment section also. And then is it working now? I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay, Mario Alabama European line Bandabala. We seem to have connection issues there. Lord Mayor I think he's not hearing me. Um, so hopefully we'll fix that. Can you hear me now? Okay, Mario European line Bandabala. European line Bandabala. We're having issues. Maybe some technical issues. So once that is fixed, we will crack on with the interview. So I don't know what the problem is because I can see Lord Mayor on the screen, and I think most of you can see him on the screen. But it seems what happens with the audio. Okay, let me get out of the studio and maybe call him on the WhatsApp and see maybe what's going on. Yeah, maa dégg léegi. Okay, okay, let's try to fix this. Hold on. Okay, we seem to have a problem here. Wait. Okay. Is it better now? Okay, we seem to have problem with because he's not hearing me. And then we can't do the interview if he's not hearing me. I don't know what the issue is. Okay, we can see him on the screen, but it's not working at the minute. Fingers crossed we will sort this out. So that Gambia mom Gambia these basic things are a problem there. So if this doesn't work, we'll have to do the interview via WhatsApp. I don't want us to do that because I want people to call in and ask questions. So, but worst case scenario, if the video doesn't work, and then we will just have to do it via WhatsApp. So that is the alternative. So one more time, let's see whether this is going to work this time. Okay, can you hear me now?
Hello?
Hello, Mangladega, Yamadega.
Hello?
Yamadega.
Maladiga.
Okay, good. Maybe it's the Bluetooth. Can you hear me now? Audio better for them. Is it better now?
Hello?
Allo?
Hello, Seo.
Yeah, lama yama dega legi.
Hello, Seo.
Yeah, mangla dega. Yama dega.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, if it is audible now, Lord Mayor, we can just crack on. Thank you for coming to Bantaba.
Sure.
And thank you for accepting the
Thank you.
invitation. Hamnani, we wanted to do this much earlier. While Tombe, you were going on your annual leave, and
Yes.
we decided to schedule it today. And thank you for granting us the interview. It's been a while since you came on to Bantaba. I think since after the 2021, you were here before, but after that, everybody's busy. So I'll give you opportunity to bring a new audience, Lord Mayor, and then we start the interview.
Absolutely. maa ngi nuyu waa UDP Bantaba audience yëpp di leen sant di leen gërëm. It's an absolute pleasure to see you, Sehu Sedili. It's been quite a while.
Yeah.
Lu bari xew na. I'm sure you have many questions. But we are glad to be back.
I have. Yeah. Thank you, Lord Mayor. It's a pleasure to have you on Bantaba. We are giving you guys respite because some of you guys were so frequent in other platforms, which are non-UDP platforms. Then London follow on Kerfatu and other places.
Right.
So we just wanted to give you a bit of respite because you are so busy with the campaign here and there. So Lolo Tajine, fee mom, whether you come or not, we will do advocacy for you because fee Bantaba, fee UDP platform. So that was the reason why you just space, so that you guys can come. But Lord Mayor, congratulations again formally on this interview. I know we did that. Congratulations being re-elected as chairman of KMC, overwhelmingly re-elected, despite the strong opposition from the ruling party. They wanted to see you out. They didn't want you to be re-elected, but the verdict of KMC, people said, no, we want Talib. He has done a tremendous job. Ligambi and Contanan. So congratulations to you and your campaign team. Why, just briefly, Talib, how did you feel about being re-elected as chairman of KMC?
Thank you. It was a tough election. Definitely, I think I feel more validated. So first election, you know that the party is the only reason most of the time people vote for you because especially someone like me, I was not known. I was not a popular figure or well known. So Hamnani, my first election, my party was the reason people voted for me. So the second election is the test because people now know you. They know what you can do. They know what you can do. They know the character, the type of person you are. So I think Bobo validation. And given in our case, we faced a very stiff opposition. The president himself was physically on the ground. Laser focused on removing me. So to win under all those circumstances, I think this election is sweeter than the first. But also, dafa nekk election bu nga xam ne tam daf dee tax nga reflect on the core reason lu tax nit ñi vote la because it must be they have a lot of hope and trust and therefore the burden is much more than the first one because 2 times in a row they had many choices and they chose you. So definitely, I think that responsibility is always at the back of my mind to make sure that I'm using their time, because it's the people's time, most effectively to bring them meaningful development in their lives. But individually, family, everybody who supports me, we were all very, very, very happy. Some were relieved. Many people believe that maybe given the might of the incumbency, it would not go this way. But we ran a very strategic campaign, very effective and efficient campaign, and the results spoke for itself.
Absolutely. Like you said, it was a super verdict. Absolutely. So, Lolo is good. Why, Lord Mayor, just na ne during the campaign, were you disturbed about some of the negative rhetoric from our opponents? I know it wasn't easy for you. Even some people crazily trying to characterize Talib the Gambian, Talib Monwa from this place, like here and there. How did you feel what did you feel when you heard some of those things? I'm not near politics, but did you
Yeah.
at any point feel that those people they went overboard?
Of course, politics, mom, is a rough business.
Hmm.
Rules, if there's any rules,
Hmm.
and people do get desperate. When
Yeah.
when people go out of character, so ninja do already one he tried bila boka or jógewut si dëkk bi. For me, it's validation. Whatever we are doing in our campaign, nañ ko yokka, we are doing it very well because
Hmm.
to go out of topic, nga dem solo, it means you
Hmm.
must be desperate.
Yeah.
Man nag yàlla may na ma ne I have an ability to shut out all the distractions. So many of the news, the negative news or the negative things being said, I was not even aware until
Yeah.
after the campaign. For my data, it really needs to make news because since my election in 2018 to now, definitely point ne duma de déglu news, duma de follow social media, duma de seetaan local news. Even in my house, I don't have access to GRTS or QTV. And that's really helped me to focus. So, pour nga wax ma affaire mu agasi man, you really have to go to the news. So, for example, there was one guy who made a claim that my family was making money off the Mbalit project.
Yeah.
Today's my yai.
Yeah.
And my mother felt that was too far, so
Yeah.
Yobuko court for defamation,
Yeah.
but the guy ended up apologizing.
Yeah.
So I think that was the only instant that it was in my face. But all other instances, I think after the fact, especially the guy who said I was not from Gambia, so that I heard after the election. And it's just, you have to be, in politics, you have to be strong.
Yeah.
You have to be thick skin. And you have to know that 95% of people who go extreme is because they're desperate.
Yeah.
And if you make the mistake of responding, then you fall into their trap. They want the narrative of the election to be about something else other than what your message is. And we saw that in 2021 presidential.
Yeah.
And many times I even advise our own party, let's not react, let's not respond. Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was very difficult to control such a big party. Because some would respond and you wouldn't even realize.
Yeah.
And I think it hurts our politics. And if I responded to this guy, it would hurt my politics because my response wouldn't be nice. It would be out of character.
Yeah.
And that's not what people want to hear. People want to hear Lanmoy in Yokotes and lives.
Yeah.
But it was a nasty election, and I think it was an NPP strategy. Usually, what I see in their politics, they don't sell value.
Yeah.
They don't have a policy, even at a governance level.
Yeah.
At the government, they don't even have a policy or vision about where they want to see Gambia. So they can't communicate that. So when they focus more, how do we throw the opposition off balance? Naka lañ leen di distracté. UDP come for naka lañ leen di merlooye.
Yeah. Yeah.
And many of the times we fall into that trap. So my experience now is keep on message, focus on the prize, talk directly to the people. Nit ñi luñ bëgg a xam mooy at a bread and butter level, at a household level, naka nga wàññee cost of living. How do you bring jobs? How do you bring quality care? How do you bring basic infrastructure and sanitation? People want to know that they can live and prosper in Gambia. So I think that's the message.
Yeah, Lord Mayor, Balanjo Soresi Watambi, I'm not at the national level. We had this tragedy. I know you paid your condolences to his
Absolutely.
two PIU officers. If you want to take this opportunity again, maybe to take extended condolence, because it was a really sad moment for the whole nation. Unprecedented, in my view, to see two PIU officers lost their life in such a callous cowardly manner. So maybe you want to use the opportunity to extend your condolences to them. Mm.
Absolutely. Where anybody dies or is murdered, especially young people, especially young public servants, it is a major tragedy for any country, for the continent, for even the world. Nobody should celebrate that. Nobody should be happy with such acts.
Yeah.
And it's something that shocked all of Gambia. You know, New Japa, man, I woke up at 2 a.m. I got a call from the security head of the municipality. I could not just believe it. It's something imaginable, especially attack security post, armed officers. If this can happen to them, it can happen to anybody because guns and the security people. So definitely, I extended my condolences to the head of the PIU, Pate Jallo, extended my condolences to the IGP, but the Gambia at large. Because the police are a pillar of any society.
Yeah.
And I was just telling somebody, Maneko, bad police is better than no police.
Yeah.
You hate the police until there's no police and you realize that it's anarchy. You fear for your own safety, safety of your property, your children. So police must be supported. If we feel that the way they go about things is wrong, then we must call for reform.
Yeah.
But not under any circumstances an attack on the police. So it was a very shocking moment, and I think turning point Latam in the history of Gambia. I think in Gambian security. I had a meeting with the police commissioner of KM. This is at the Gambia Police Force level. His name is Commissioner Basanji. Mr. Basanji, I think you guys really need to rethink policing. Because to police a democratic society is a lot more difficult than policing a society during an autocratic regime.
Yeah.
Because with the time of Yahya Jammeh, police did not need much training. They did not need much tools. They did not need much capacity because Yahya Jammeh ruled by deterrent. It's still fair in the population. So there was a lot of deterrence. There was a lot of people who did not act criminally. But now it's a democratic dispensation. Police actually need tools. Police actually need training. They need to know how to react to different situations. They need to know how to conduct investigations properly. Even when you're at a checkpoint, you need to know how to stay guarded and protect yourself. And one thing I also asked him, how come police don't have bulletproof when they are on duty, especially guard posts? Minimum they do have bulletproof, but it's bulletproof for war. It's very heavy. It is not for civilian policing. So because it's heavy, police can't wear unless we're in a state of war and a state of chaos. So I think these are some of the issues that they have. So basically, it's a tragedy.
Yeah.
I think we should all be sad and shocked about it.
Yeah.
And I also had the National Security Committee say that the guy was linked to Casamas rebels. So there's a lot of conflicting information. But I asked myself, if that is true, and this guy is from Casamas, what does that mean for Gambian national security?
Yeah.
Does it mean that we have effectively imported this conflict onto our streets? So I think there's a lot of questions. We are all very eager to know what really happened and to make sure that something like this never ever reoccurs again.
Exactly. Okay, we'll leave it at that, Honorable Lord Mayor, because the matter is a subject of investigation right now. I don't want to draw you into that, and possibly the matter will go to court because they have an accused person right now. So we will see how things will pan out. But thank you. Going back to KMC, Lord Mayor, one of the things that actually was prominent during the campaign, and your critics say, Talib Mom, the only thing he boasts about is the Mbalit project. Talib, in fact, I have an MPP friend who they discuss politics. Talib Mom lu rek Mbalit, apart from Mbalit lala deft, So, you're definitely dara KMT apart from Mbalit. Now, I want you to, I know you've responded to these questions before, but is it
Absolutely.
true, Talib, that your critics, what they say is Talib has no agenda in KMC apart from selling ballot projects?
Well, critics mom luñ bugg a wax la ñoo wax, and like I said, it was a well contested election. They brought a minister down to contest me. So su fekkoon ne mbalit rek laa def and they knew they would win, I don't
Yeah.
think they would make a minister come down to compete with me. But
Yeah.
basically, man, like I said, I always made my point serving the people, having impact directly on the ground. There's uncountable things we have done, uncountable projects we have done that have impacted the community. I even made a challenge. Can they name any market KMC developed under the Yankobokoli days? And they started naming. No, we are not naming Gumworks projects. We are not naming social security funded projects. We are not naming Gambia government funded projects. We are saying what projects or what markets have they developed using taxpayers' funds paid directly to KMC? And they could not name. Because the reality is, outside Gumworks projects, the only markets or even infrastructure projects KMC has done for the past 30 years, that is Yankobokoli's days, Layakonte's days counted, is only 3 infrastructure projects using taxpayers' funds. And this is the construction of Abuko Market, this is the construction of Charles Jau School, and the Bakau Market. These are the only 3 projects over a 30-year period that were constructed using council funds. And in 4 years, we have built 3 markets and the 4th one under construction using council funds. Secondly,
where are those markets, Lord Mayor? Those 3 markets?
Yeah, we have Talinding Jilifitikunda market that was built from scratch using council funds. We had Latrikunda Sabeji market expansion. So the original market was built by Gunworks. The 100 shop expansion was built by council funds. And we have the Kotu market. These are all built 100% by council funds. But they could not name any market they have used council funds aside from markets built during the Laikonte days. Secondly, when you look at the grant funding, the KMC has never had the ability to attract grants because they were not taken as a serious institution. We attracted 3 million euros worth of grants, and we're building a library, it's almost done. 7 parks, almost done. Environment project, we are building transfer stations soon. Right now we're building a recycling shed, also part of that grant. And then you look at, in terms of institutional reform, we have managed to totally transform KMC into a political institution to now a service-driven institution. And also in that light, been able to double its revenue. So looking at all these areas, there's quite a lot. My memory can't even serve me in terms of thinking about what we've done, but we've done quite a lot. And of course, the unprecedented Balit project, which, if that's the only thing we did, we should celebrate it and say we have actually transformed waste management in the Gambia, because it's an unprecedented project. Can you imagine having a waste management project as same as you would have in any first-class developed country, in one of the poorest states in the world, and it being self-funded and sustainable? It's been now 6-7 years and still running. So I think basically we've done a lot. And recently we have actually had breakthroughs in grants that are pegged for KMC of up to $5 billion each, and we will speak about that when we delve further into after elections. But I think the point is now the voters have actually validated us.
Your work, your good work.
So we have won. It means the voters value what we were doing at the council level.
Okay, that's really profound, Lord Mayor. Before we go into your first 100 days since you got re-elected, the Malabuga like because after the election, Adam Barrow said, um, congratulated all of you, the people who won, chairman and the mayors, and he said, I don't want to misquote him here. He said elections are over now, so it's time to work, and he's opened up his doors for you guys to work. Punyulige Dekabi. He said that State House in his reaction to the mayoral election, the local government election. So the Malabuga lad, you as the mayor of KMC, do you see that, or has he actually put his words into practice? Has something changed in terms of how before the election and now? Is it more like the doors are open now, like the local government, the tension that was there between KMC and Ministry of Local Government, has that eased now?
There's been no change. I think the tension that existed before in local government still exists to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's toned down a bit, being that politics really among good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also, given that the opposition won, especially the UDP, in all the key areas,
Mm-hmm.
that has made the ruling party less arrogant and less aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the posturing is the same. We haven't seen any meaningful change. Whenever, just the other day, I was telling my UDP executives, whenever the ruling party is in shock or under pressure, they come out with statements of reconciliation without any meaningful follow-up. Of course, we all want this country to prosper. We want this country to unite. So when the ruling party says they want to meet, they want to discuss, of course, we will be open to that. But we always question how frank or how genuine that gesture is. Because history has taught us it is always done when they are under pressure, and they do it for good optics. Wow, Baro niti jamala, hola minye ubi puntami UDP.
Yeah.
The other half of the time, they do it because they have an underhand tactic or underlying motive. That is not genuine. So I always tell the UDP executives, if Baro is genuine about trying to make peace and trying to reconcile the country, he has many chances to call Usainu Dabo directly.
Yes.
All he needs to do is call him, visit him, and make it known. Do a joint press conference.
Yeah.
We've seen these things done in Senegal. We've seen these things done in other countries. It's certainly good optics for young people to see, and it's certainly good for our militants to understand that there's something bigger than our parties, which is the country.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is good to talk, to have dialogue. But I don't see any action from the NPP that says what they are saying is what they mean. Because we've heard in the same week where the president talked about reconciliation, he started a commission of inquiry.
Exactly.
We've seen right after the election, actions have been taken to let's look at Yankuba Dabo's case.
Exactly.
A case that was already dead. So actions are taken that are hostile towards the UDP. So we still don't have a healthy trust for some of their comments.
Thank you. It's just unfortunate because I think the government needs there's a close collaboration between the local government authority and the central government in the interest of our country. But like you said, there's a lot of, most often than not, there's a lot of insincerity on their part. They would say something and some actions don't match up with that, and that is really unfortunate. But Lord Mayor, there's a question on the platform. Somebody just said, maybe I'll just take this as we're talking about the ballot project. Karim Dabo said, Sedili, can you bring this attention, his attention? I was talking to someone yesterday who told, I think he wanted to say, he told me Bundung is not beneficiary of ballot project. Is that true? Is that Bundung Kokonade? I know Bundung, they protested about lack of water. So are they also victims of lack of ballot project, Bundung?
Well, we have two bundungs. We have Bundung Bohol and we have Bundung 6 Junction. Both of them have their trucks. We have open ward offices in each of the wards. They have ward development committees. They have elected councillors. If they are experiencing poor service or lack of service, that is the office to go complain. The councillor is on the ground, but they have their truck, they have their routes they have to run. We have also published a number called 1244.
Yeah, the toll number.
Toll-free number. If you're experiencing difficulty in terms of service, this is a number to go and complain at, and then you will need your Google Plus code. In KMC, we have made sure every house has a plaque with the Google Plus code. The reality on the ground is during the rainy season, every rainy season, service levels go down. The reason is because accessibility to many communities can be very difficult because, as you know, 90% of the road network is unbuilt. And when it rains, these are heavy trucks. We have issues of the trucks getting stuck. We have issues of neighborhoods becoming inundated with water and inaccessible. But as you will see, as the rainy season ends, service levels will go back up and coverage will increase. This is something we've been facing a while. So, but there are numbers people can call, there are offices people can go to if they're experiencing poor or lack of service.
So the toll-free number is 1244 for the people of KMC. 1244.
Yes, and the easiest would be to go to your councillor's ward office. They're all labeled and they're all within the heart of the community. 19 wards, 19 offices. I'm not your complaint.
That's good. That's good. Okay, Lord Mayor, now let's shift the discussion to achievements or challenges of the first 100 days in office. Since you got re-elected, what are some of the major pronouncements or major achievements that are done? But before we go there, sorry, let me just go back. Before we go there, Lord Mayor, after you got elected, I think, Luabi Johnalal Dole for you guys to nominate people. And I think that was a bit of buruhaha. I'm going to bring that up. I will use this opportunity. That was buruhaha when you nominated Nene Freda Gomez and what is his name? Get this popular guy from GDC. GDC guy, you know. MC Cham Jr. So obviously there was a lot of issues. They got audio reaction. So I said to myself, I'm sure Talib has a good reason why he did it. So I'm going to use this opportunity, maybe even explain the rationale behind. I know they were part of your campaign team, but some people accuse you also, and I think this is coming from your opponent as well. Say, there was an agreement between you and MC Cham Jr. and Nene that they should join your team so that you can offer them this position. Was that the case, Lord Mayor?
No, actually, it's not. Basically, I did have in my mind that I would nominate MC and I would nominate Nene before my election, but I did not communicate my nominations before the election. I never do. It's dangerous because today the circumstances can make me feel like MC Cham is a good candidate, but after the election, the circumstances may change and I would have to choose somebody else, and therefore it's dangerous to promise anybody that you would make them nominated councillor. Now, nominated councillors are just a few in number, depending on the size of the council. In our council, allowed to go as high as 7. Some titles are named in the act, meaning like the women's councillor, youth councillor. But some you can create given your assessment of which communities are underserved or underrepresented. So if you feel a community or a certain segment in society is underserved or underrepresented as a mayor or a chairman, you can nominate somebody to represent those people at the council level. So basically, yes, the Nene nomination, I found people maybe found a bit more controversial than the MC. But the Nene nomination is very, very important, I think, especially in our society, Gambia. When you look at our population, and especially after the election, when I looked at the council's makeup, we had 19 elected councillors, all 19 are Muslim. I, myself, the mayor, I am a Muslim. All the nominated councillors are Muslims. And the Christians, during my campaign, have raised a lot of concerns about how they feel that in terms of lawmaking, in terms of decision making in the country, the perspective is always 100% Muslim, because all the elected officials are Muslim. So naturally, we will have a natural bias towards Islam and promoting the teachings of Islam and making sure that is in law. And we forget that there's another big population in Gambia, 10%, who are non-Muslim and literally have their views not heard. So I think I am a leader who leads by conviction. Once my conscience is clean, once I believe that this something is right, I do not worry about the repercussions because I know I'm doing the right thing. So I also had a good consultation with the party leader, who advised that, yes, a Christian, he did not say who I should pick, he just said, I think it is very important to have a Christian on the council. So I got that validation from the leadership. And, I looked around and I saw that Nene is somebody who is very active in politics, cares much about the country, has gone for elections and lost, has continued to fight in the public for what is right. And that's the type of people we need. She's taken government head on several occasions where she believed it was right. She was part of the party Citizens Alliance when she believed that they were not going the right direction. She parted with the party. She has been approached by the NPP several times. With
really?
Yes, of course. With monetary offers, with offers of position before even the presidential election. Because, those days, Barrow was just trying to build as much of an army against the UDP as possible. And she turned all these offers down. She had meetings with Barrow about joining NPP, and she just could not see what was good about the NPP for the Gambia, and she turned them down. So basically, people like this are people I would like to be close to. I would love for them to have positions of leadership, or because these are you need honorable people in honorable positions. And I find her to be very honorable. In the other side, you have MC Camp Jr. During the UDP Congress 2022, when we were in Denjambure, MC Cham came fully clothed to join the UDP.
Wow.
And we met, me, him, and the party leader at the house the party leader was staying. And MC told the party leader that he came to join the party. But after we discussed for a while, we came to the conclusion that we were heading to a very highly contested election, and we need MC's voice to stay independent.
Independent, that was really tactical.
Yes, during that election, and I was the one advocating. The party leader was not happy. He was saying, "No, just join now. Anything that makes UDP stronger, he's for it." He was like, no, let him just join now. I said, no, let's just wait. We need independent voices to strengthen our hand. Because if MC joins UDP and he starts speaking, people will say, of course he was going to support UDP. He's UDP. But if he maintains an independent stance, that would really strengthen our hand during the mayoral. And it worked. So basically, MC is somebody that I don't need to talk about. Everybody knows his standing in the Gambia society. Everybody knows he has a big voice. He has many followers. And again, he also stood for elections, not once, not twice, and kept on losing. He had a one-on-one meeting with Barrow.
I saw Barrow invited him.
Yes, it was all over the news. It was in January. And he called me when he was going, and he said, the president has called me. I just want to let you know. I said, of course, if the president calls you, you have to go, no matter who you are. He's the head of the country. But I told him, don't make any rash decisions. A lot will be offered to you, but calm down. Don't do anything. So he went there. They offered him many, many things. Lots of money, access to mobility, position also at the State House. And thankfully, he was strong enough
to resist the temptation.
To resist and know that politics is not about self-enrichment, it's about the country. So when he came out, I was so proud. I think for me, that's when I made the decision that if we win, I will nominate him as a councillor. Because I want to be surrounded with honest people. And I think our party is an honest party, a principled party. And we need people like this to join us or to affiliate with us. And look, Mr. Sedili, what we are looking for is a UDP government in 2026.
Yes.
And to do that, we also have to show tolerance. Not only verbally by saying that, oh, we accept everybody. No, but in our actions, we have to show inclusiveness. We have to show that even if we win as a UDP government, not 100% of the positions are going to go to UDP. Some of them may go to people of other parties. Some of them may go to civilians who don't participate in politics but have the skill set or have the education to fill those positions. Because we are a party of the Gambia. We are not just a party of some people who are part of the Gambia, but we are a party for all Gambians. So I think this is also a symbolic gesture to that effect.
Yeah, true. Lord Mayor, xam naa ne ñun moom suñ waxtaanee léegi-léegi dañ dee dugg si anglais too much. Audience bi xam nga suma mbokki ñoomin kay ñoom dégguñu anglais, so ñu ne nga wàññi anglais bi tuuti. Because program is not record into audio, so because what we do is we share it in different forums, so that people know how many mënuñoo dégg anglais. So xam naa ne duñu ñàkk rek.
I apologize.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I just want to remind you, you stick to the Wolof language, 90%. But lunga wahni man d'accord nasi. Just man buma dega who happy about this nomination. Personally, I said here, man, I support this nomination, and I'm not going to shy away from saying I support Nene's nomination and MC Champs because lunga wahrek pro yokas is our UDP. We have to break this barrier because guys, we only think of UDP. So. I think there was a clear example. So UDP government it's not going to be just UDP to benefit. And I think this what you have done here is a clear testimony of that. And these are people they could have been, like you said, Nene was approached. Nene could have just followed money, Modem, with Harlis. MC could have done the same thing. But they stuck up with you during the campaign and I think definitely, in my view, it was a good decision. But not everybody was happy. That's why I brought the question. Because some people also bring the other side. Talib, some of our candidates who lost the election. They vie for, Tahoe Council, they lost. When they knew Yagan and UDP, Balanga Joko, the new ones that just come to us, you should have considered those people. That's the argument that they are putting in the audios. Did you hear some of those concerns?
No, I heard some of that. I disagree because New Tahoe were 4 in number and they lost. And Munuma justify giving one of them position, Johoma Kenen position.
Wow.
Because there's just not enough positions. Because nominated councillor, a lot of them came back and a lot of them have built a lot of experience in London, and that's the basis my Indian back. Secondly, I think the party term, we were the ones saying that, for example, the MP of Talinding, Fatmata Jawara, when she lost the election, there was a big argument from our party that Barrow nominating her was not principled.
Exactly.
Because she had just run an election and the people of Talinding rejected her. Why would the president now bring her through the back door to the parliament?
Yeah,
so
good point.
We have to be consistent in our argument. And look, at the end of the day, these are just 7 positions. A party being Dimbali to get elected, there's thousands and thousands of people. You cannot give everybody a position. These are positions that we as the leaders use our judgment based on the personalities around us. Can we any can we add to our capacity to bring development, and can we add to our capacity to win elections 2026. At the end of the day, it's not about patronage. It's not about repaying people. It's about how do we increase our ability to bring services to the people.
Yeah.
So we really have to balance these things out very, very well. So at the end of the day, what I decided was anything you do in politics, somebody will talk.
True.
There's no person you will pick that they will not be talk. If I had even gone by their suggestion and picked some of the losing candidates, Dinga youths from our other side, these guys ran an election in their wards and deprived us from being a candidate in those wards. And now you're giving them a different position. You should have considered us. You would have had all sorts of things. So basically, I think more leadership, the family. Waaw li soo nekkee njiit wax moom foog mu am so yow da ngaa seet lan nga foog ne moo gën rek lan nga foog ne mooy indi yokkute si ak askan bi nga def loolu wante soo toppee nit ñi lu ñoo wax all the time wala nga ragal ne nit na la xas doo def décision yu baax.
No, leadership is about making hard decisions, tough decisions, and like you said, no matter what decision you make in life, some people will not be happy, but that's the nature of the game. Why content now, Lord Mayor Lunga Lera at this point? Because from tonight, audio is in and you bury it because reasons they are convincing, to be honest. Because we shouldn't contradict ourselves. Nyunbu Fatupra Jawara was nominated by Barrow. We made noise about it, saying that she was rejected by the voters. So you saw them on the nominately, then what that would have definitely contradicted our views as a political party, and we should be consistent. Consistency is very important in politics, and I think the reason Johe about the fact that there's 4 people lost elections, so can guy gil nga by kenenki lolu tam do a problem. So man, I think this is really has cleared the air now, and apart from that, the 2 people who are nominated, they are people of the impeccable character in my view, and they love the country. They are true patriots, and I think it's also amplify the diversity because UDP. We like to stay. People not come on us and say UDP government, so they will just stay within. We always criticize Barrow that he's not just considered NPP for unity. He should even NPP, so he should consider them. So I think these things are really convincing. Thank you for clarifying that. And I can see on the comment section, a lot of people are happy and they agree with your decision and they are very happy with your explanation. Thank you. So, Lord Mayor, let's go back to the achievements since you got elected. What are some of the things that you have done since you got elected?
Thank you for that. So when you in an election, we've been in office, we've been on the drawing boards. So first year, after any election, you really have to sit and think. You really have to sit and build the foundation for the second term. Many people want you to see you always in the media. Many people will push you. Can you gain? Can you then fee? Can you definitely? And so tope distractions here. You will fail to do the hard critical work. The most unpopular, the administrative work. The least attractive is the policy work, but it is the most critical. Lolo mo gena am solo in any administration. They so you say Gambia government is struggle because they don't work based on a strategic direction. They don't work based on policy or regulation. Guy then every day then your air right. Lan mo nek ci account you nañ sampatali bi nañ sampatali bale without even a plan, without even a master plan. So moda deka bi mu jaxaso moda problems yi bari moda we always bankrupt. So the most difficult thing in administration, especially leadership, especially in a council, because council may or amount executive power, council be as a body more executive power. So you must work on policy formulation, you must work on a strategy, you must start capacitizing the council. So basically the last 3 months, Mange constitute committees that will advise and guide the council. My source for experts to man those committees, subject matter specialists, see community. I was setting up boards of governors for the various entities you council be there run and own. And I was putting the final touches, pursuing grants, we apply in our first term, and thankfully we were successful. I just told you, right now KMC has been identified for 48 million euro grant by
Wow.
the EU. We've actually been earmarked for it, and grant B is KMC is the promoter, but the beneficiaries will also be Birkama Area Council and Banjul City Council, because
Wow.
it is to bring a full-fledged recycling facility in the greater Banjul area. So we've been trying to coordinate with BCC and BAC, because pre-feasibility study will conclude now right now. In January, guys send a feasibility study team, and they will start doing that. And if everything is successful, then the project will be finally approved, because we already earmarked for it. So 2025 implementation is what we are looking at. So this is, I think, an unprecedented major achievement for local governance. And this is a project I personally sat with our Tony Blair Institute fellow.
Yeah.
And we found it, we applied for it. Then you have group in the grant bombsters. So ñun 5 ñoo fa nekk, so we're always searching for grants. So this project will be funded by the European Investment Bank, and of course the body that is approving it is the EU. So aside from that, we also applied for a UNCDF grant. So UNCDF, then you apply, because KMC, we own 3 SPVs, special purpose vehicles, or you can call them whatever, entities. Carnifing Municipal Markets, Carnifing Municipal Transport, which is a bus service, and this waste management entity we are about to set up. So we applied for a grant to support those entities, and we were successful with UNCDF. So they have approved a $26 million grant for KMC to support these 3 entities. So one is the procurement of buses and to get the bus service off the ground. The other one is the development of 7 private markets through our Carnifing Municipal Markets Company. And the third one is to build a recycling facility, which is $8 million. So now, because European Investment Bank already joined a new grant for 48 million euro, or they are diverged for a recycling facility, UNCDF earmarked for $7 million for the same recycling facility. We know how these grant agencies work. You cannot hide these things from them. They want So we did full disclosure. We connected UNCDF at European Union. For guys, you understand that they have both earmarked us for this grant. Duplication. So now UNCDF funder Meridian, which is a French finance bank, is talking to the European Investment Bank. UNCDF is talking to EU to ensure there is no conflicts in both grants. So I think these are major, unprecedented achievements. The reason KMC is not making big noise about it yet, Manduma de Buga preempt. I know these grants are available for us, but there are steps that need to be taken. I'm not even def, but I need to access these grants. So I think it's better to wait until background work is done before we make any major announcement. Recently, though, we got a grant from the German government. We had a project that was rehabilitating Barcode dump site in my first time.
Yeah, the dump
for
site.
the DMC project. So it was completely done, and it was successful. So the German government came back and said they want to fund a second round that is community-based. And we got that grant. It's about 1 million euros. Bobu project implementation with Dorna. So outside these grants, depending on council, we are working on things we started last year, but also that we are part of some campaign promise. Moine, we want to build 38 kilometers worth of roads through the Kanifing Municipal Road Network project. So we are finalizing that project and working your door implementation by January 2024. This will be fully funded by the council. It's $400 million worth. We intend to fund it over an 8-year period. So how many 4 of those years will be under my term, the other 4 probably on another mayor's term. The council going concern, we make projects not based on political timetables, they're based on just the execution. So basically, that's a major project. We are finalizing the details. Another major project we are finalizing the details. The bus service. We know we have a grant, but we're still going to go ahead and start it with our own might. J. Paul Tucker of UDP is the chairperson of the board. They are working very hard to make sure that this service begins very soon. On the municipal markets, I told you we are going to build 7 markets. I'm not grant, but we are still following our original plan to get those off the ground. We also are working to set up an Office of Public Information, which is, we realized in the campaign, there's a big disconnect with council services we provide and we lan lañ xam. So dañu dem ba xam ne Gambien yu bari amuñ much clue about what services they can get from council. So we decided that this is a major milestone that we want to bring to the council, because we've seen it in UK councils, unlike these Office of Public Information. It's sort of a bigger public affairs unit, but where people can walk in and even get legal advice, advice on health and education, council housing, etc. Last project that we really want to embark on, and I told somebody, even if we are able to only build 1 housing unit, but we want to introduce council housing.
Wow.
So we are on the verge of setting up an affordable housing company. We have set up a task force. Lamin Mane, formerly of AFDB, now a UDP executive member, is a member of the task force. Lamin Sane, who we all know is a very smart financial consultant.
Yeah, Lamin Sane.
Also, UDP executive member is on the board. Yakumba Jaite is on that task force. We also have Dudu Mbai, formerly of UN Habitat, the chairperson of that task force. So they're working diligently to see how this could be possible. We don't have the funding yet, but we have ideas of how to get it off the ground. So I just want to prove that possible now. Before my term ends in office, we would love to have council unit or council flats. Because I think we definitely you set up social security.
Yes.
Social security, its actual name is SSHFC. Social Security Housing Finance Corporation. On the Jammeh days, they built several estates. Brusubi Housing Estate, Binyogo Sampa. But they have stopped. And they're now, in my view, mismanaging our funds. Because social security funds, they could invest into a depreciating asset, more buses. What they should have really done more to invest in more housing, because Gambia has a housing problem. Housing shortage, more rents are very high.
Very expensive.
Social security actually could have been a fund that KMC could have tapped into, and other councils, BAC could have tapped into, to build council flats for underprivileged families, for low-income earners, and also for in level of illegal housing. Because right now, so them Ibo Town Badala, Parokono, or you go to Fajikunda, Dumus, or Abuko Badala, you will find Ninyange built on the mangroves. people are illegally building every day. And looking at Garao, they're actually taking waste, they could push into the mangroves, they create land, they build terrible structures on those lands. And all of this is a symptom that government is not providing housing for the vulnerable people in our society, the low-income people in our society. So you create slums. So we have seen this problem. What we want to come up with the first affordable housing done by a council, and we really hope government would support and come on board. So basically, this is the 5 areas we are really pushing to develop. What we are behind the scenes, we're on the drawing board, and we hope at least 50% of our vision can be accomplished before the next council election, which is in 2027, which I've already said I am not contesting. So
we come to that.
We are pushing very hard to make sure we leave legacy projects.
Yeah. Wow, really, this is refreshing. Some of the things that you have said are really profound, and I think I can see the reaction of the audience. Lord Mayor, but before I just ask specifics on some of those areas, Malad, I think I saw on your page, your Facebook page, Mayor Talib Ahmed page, I think if I stand correctly, on the 24th of August, you mentioned something about the library, the KMC library, first KMC library. Yeah, can you just elaborate on that, please?
Well, so our library is going very fast. I am surprised even at the size of the structure. It is the edifice is amazing. Koko Gisdanga Kontan. It's
From the library, it's
on Carnifing. It's in Carnifing on Jimpex Road.
Okay.
So Joge Serakunda Hospital or Carnifing Hospital, going towards Jimpex, is right next to the National Environmental Agency. It's next door. Also next Mingi Boka fence at Jawel petrol station. If you're coming from the Banju Road on Jimpex, exit become Kuidem Estate, right after the estate intersection. It is right on the road. The second floor is up. The building superstructure is complete.
Wow.
We are moving very fast because the funds are available. This is part of the KETP funded project. We are looking for December to finish the construction. Because I know the biggest problem is never the construction or the funding of the initial build. Gambia, or let's say in developing countries, the biggest problem that they make are sustainability.
Sustainability.
Nice, 10 years later, and you are just sad because the are dilapidate. Local originally envisioned on, it doesn't end up that way. And it is so critical because Gambia being a public library land, which is a colonial library.
Yeah, I know. But Kunegasi Body Gambia High School.
Exactly. So B is the first library ever built after that. And it's going to be the biggest library ever built and done by a municipality.
Wow.
So basically, I think there's a lot to look forward to this library. We also have funding to resource the library to make sure there's the furniture, there's the books, etc. All of this is great. One of my biggest worry is how to ensure a library be in 10 years, 20 years down the line. Suma Fadelo and Afagis kids the Janga, the library is working well. Just like if you're in London,
sustainability.
Libraries have been around for centuries. So basically, we want to set up a governing system that is separate from the KMC management that ensures continuity. For Mexone, we have a board that is responsible for looking for funding, that is responsible for managing the library and ensuring the board become under constitution to replenish the leadership always. But it should be board members who are educated in how libraries are run. They can be former librarians, they can be people who understand library systems. Because what we're going to get a moine, once KMC does the initial funding, we want the library to have its own capacity to raise funding for itself, whether through grants or through corporate CSR or through sponsorships, because Lulu Moy makes sure the library is sustainable.
Yeah.
So we are very concerned about that. So these are all things we are working on behind the scene through our committees. But library, I'm very excited about that. Yeah.
Okay, Lord Mayor, I did promise that it's going to be an hour interview, and we are, actually closing in on an hour. But there are just few areas that I would like to live in, and I did say we'll open the line 15-20 minutes questions for audience. Lomala Buga, like a very boss living because a boss service. Is that going to be KMC bosses, and will they be running within the vicinity of KMC? Is it all going to be across the country? What can you give us details about this boss service?
Yeah, so this bus service, of course, initially planned KMC because I am the mayor of KMC, and the council is jurisdiction is KMC. But long term, I spoke to Yankuba about this, Yankuba Davo, BAC.
Yeah.
We are very open to BAC coming on board as a stakeholder to expand the service to be a greater Banjul area service. Especially KMC and Birkama, this is one people, one system, one culture. These are the combos. And this is the heartbeat of the Gambia. This is where majority of Gambians live. And we cannot separate from each other. Our destiny is one. So Birkama, we are very excited, given now it's UDP-led, what possibilities can come from that. So we are excited to bring BCC also on board. But I told Yankuba already that once we start, they'll be the first people we will invite to also see if they can invest so we can expand the service. Because an effective bus service account for commuters in the city transport. And we are also open to working with government. GTSC, we know they're trying to have an urban service. They're trying to make it work. They have a lot of problems. So we are also ready to complement their service. And at the end of the day, we serve the same people, which are Gambians. So we should coordinate our efforts to make sure there's no duplications or inefficiencies or things that don't help them. So yeah, we are very excited about that.
Yeah, but Talib, before I go, Ngurgi Gendol 900 bosses. And 100 bosses you.
Well, I'm gonna.
Because man, the model like a question be 100 bosses. We still have this.
You know, the problem with that move. I don't want to be critical prematurely, but problem is more Ngurgi board. They brought about the urban transport because Hamnen the KMC is on the verge. So basically, nyonyo opa halis, nyonyo opa bunta, munata. So they just rushed to beat us to it. But I think it was ill-conceived. Because the first problem was the bus company GTSC, their vision, even if you go to their company books or their business plan, their vision is long distance transport. Their distance is to bring transport. Their vision is to bring transportation between the rural Gambia and urban Gambia, and also internationally between the sub-region. So they had actually pushed them into this urban transport, but they don't believe in it. Internally, they don't believe it works because they are for profit. KMC, we already know urban transport is not profitable, so we stand ready to subsidize it. So the other problem with GTSC and their old fleet is aging. So if you don't do long distance, you depreciate, they are going out of service. So even when they bought these buses for urban transport, then you move some of these new buses for urban transport, put them legally long distance, because that's where they make their money. Urban transport would go bankrupt. But the most worrying thing is they're actually continuing to use our pension funds to fund the company. The company should have either been subsidized directly by government, or they should run a sustainable service. So that's quite worrying because from my count, already government has spent up to $2 billion from our pension funds buying buses for GTSC, which they can certainly never pay back because they are not a highly profitable business. In KMC, we want to do it smart. That's why we are taking our time. And we want to make sure it works. We want to have bus stops. We want to have schedules that are realistic and schedules that are published, that people know about. And then you create a card system so we can account for the money rather than cash system, which has so many leakages and tendencies for corruption. So we are taking our time on that. Yeah.
Okay, but what is this? What is the source of fund? The funding for the buses? Is it from the KMC internal, or is it grant, or is it held from
Right. Right. So we are looking for three things. Finance is the first. We are looking because it's a limited liability company. They're looking to be financed either by a financial entity or through raising shares, etc. We also got a grant, like I just said. Grant before the bus service is 10 million. So once this 10 million USD, $500 million. So once that is finalized, they have more than enough funding to do all that they need. And thirdly, council has made a commitment to subsidize the service with $5 to $10 million annually for the next 5 years, depending on their needs. So I think these are all the three areas. But remember, we are here for the grassroots. We are here for the community.
Yeah.
The reason we are ready to put council funds into this, because we want their fares, union charge, to be cheaper and lower than whatever is available in the private sector, and even lower than what GTSC is charging. We want to see our subsidy reflected into lower fares at the stations.
But also, just the issue of housing. I think Lulu Tamid very thoughtful on your part, because housing is the challenge. So you said as part of your goals, but before you leave office, is to have this housing, scheme for you within KMC, even it's going to be one unit. When do you envisage this? If it's going to be, is it going to materialize? When do you envisage this to take off?
Well, 2023, we hope to set up the board and the company. 2024, we are going to go aggressively looking for finance, funding partnerships. And 2025, we hope to start the construction of the first units or unit, whatever we can do to start. And then when I look at governance as a going concern, as far as we start, the entity exists, a future mayor and a council will easily continue, get more funding, get more support. Hopefully, if we have a UDP government, get Social Security to loan these councils at zero interest money so they can build affordable housing in every region for the vulnerable families, whether they are people who are low income, people who are unemployed, people who are differently abled. These are the segments of society that need our support. So basically, I believe in getting things started, and then it will continue. Today, I am continuing some projects that were started by our former councils. The president is continuing projects that were started by the former president. It's a country the entity.
Continuity.
Well, we must have that mindset. We have to make responsible decisions. Continue. This country will find it very difficult to develop.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lord Mayor. I think I've got just 3 questions. Then Manna Paresi and the audience will ask the questions. So there's one issue that I don't know whether it falls within your purview, the central government. So let me Gambia. You see, issue of environment is a challenge. Motor you maggot, these cars all over place is anger. You see that this falls under the ministry, because I think a critic of you, I don't know whether the president's an MPP, must not post that on social media with all this, hype about Talib. Madam came, see Makis Moto you magazine, Funeka, these old cars in the street. So Talib is not focusing on the environment. So why is this man not focusing? So Can you answer that? Manga address lolo no. After that you work with the Ministry of Environment on something, because here you see in the West, environment is something that is paramount.
Absolutely,
Clean air,
absolutely.
motor you these old cars are everywhere, vehicles everywhere. So they may go the garage, so they may see motor garage, not this motor if you make Is this a concern to you, Talib?
Yeah, it's a big concern. 2019, I had a one-on-one meeting with the president. One-on-one, alone, just two of us. Mr. President, I think we need to control the environment through the port. How you mean? We need to stop the importation of garbage into this country. So in Senegal today, they have an embargo on vehicles that are more than 10 years old, I believe. They make the duty more expensive for vehicles older than 5 years and cheaper for vehicles that are new. And this discourages the importation of all these trash vehicles from Europe. Because these old derelict vehicles coming in already as damaged or garbage vehicles. Of course, nit ki su ko use 1 year rek daf du work mu sànni ko si mbedd yi. So the fundamental problem with those vehicles all over is that we are not controlling our port. Effectively, we import rubbish from Europe. This goes for used tires. This goes for used laundry machines, used fridges, used electronics, used clothes, even newspaper. We import newspaper. We are not reading those newspapers which are 10 years old, 5 years old, and these are European news. So basically, to answer that man's question, I think he's pointing his finger at the wrong person. There's nothing that you can blame a mayor for that you will not blame government first for it. Remember, we are also under the government. The persons and person who has the supreme mandate to govern this land is the president and the government of the Gambia. When we are subnational level, we are operating at a very low level, and in Gambia's case, our powers are drastically reduced. I cannot even allocate land for a junkyard. So, somewhere, Mayor, why don't you clear all these vehicles? The first thing I'm going to ask you is, where am I going to take them? I don't have the power to find a space and allocate for a city junkyard or a scrapyard. So every city, the scrapyard or junkyard. Also, police and traffic police are not under our mandate. So traffic police, the power and run mandate. You tow trucks. So when you take these vehicles, you can first physically take them, and then you can take them to a junkyard where they are possessed and turned into stuff. And businessman, they recycle metal. So the police are not under us. We are certainly not in control of the port or the policies guiding the port, and we cannot allocate ourselves land. So mayors are easy targets because we are grassroots politicians. But one entity wagila, they say when you point one finger, before others are pointing back to you.
No, they are just trying to find any possible area that they can criticize our guys.
So that is a policy issue at the president's level. I told him personally. And today, what is so funny, last month, while I was on leave, OP, Officer of the President, then you invite all the local councils to go to State House to discuss how do we get rid of all these canteens and scrap of the street. But let me tell you, Sadie, every 2 years, they have that meeting, so sometimes I wonder, I'm a visiting president, all this meeting after you you need to mean a development. You need to have a policy. Environment Ministry, National Environment Agency, National Road Authority, Ministry of Works. You have at the OP level a lot of committees sitting. Where is the policy around this?
Nothing.
Policy in regard
a lot of them busy trying to fight UDP. That's the government. I mean, Ben Sohla, every day, how try to get nullify UDP. That's why they are so distracted. It's so unfortunate because they are, like you said, they're in charge of the economy. They're in charge of they take collect revenue and pretty much and everything. And they should be in charge. But so unfortunately, we are in this very sad situation. Lord Mayor, there's a question also that revolves around the issue of rates, council rates. I think it's a challenge because people want you guys to deliver, but so many people owe arrears in terms of rates. In fact, there was a day I was listening to King FM. I think your guys made a press list giving deadlines that people who do not pay, whatever. And one of your critics also said, why did they have to wait until after elections to come up with this press release? Why didn't they do this press release before the election? So they said now they waited until after they've got the votes and they came up with a press release. But I think politics never interesting. Why didn't they come up with this press release before the election? Because they know when they say people will not vote for them. Now they are coming up with this. Sorry. But this issue of rates is a concern. People don't pay rates. How do you see? Is it improving now? Are people complying?
So the rates issue is very, very interesting. To answer directly to that guy who said about elections, no, I'm first quarter of the year, new tax year money, people are paying. So you cannot talk about areas when we are within tax season. You talk about areas when the deadline, Romana, and according to the Local Government Act, June 30th is the deadline. After such deadline, then you can talk about areas, because legally that's when rates become areas. So that is to answer that person's question. Secondly, rates is very critical for the development of councils. Just 2 weeks ago, I had a meeting with our rates unit. We have a consultant from Oxford University, Joseph. He came on the ground and basically the main task for me to a study on compliance rates. What we found out more when you look at rates, we have 34% compliance. So if people were supposed to pay 100 million, they're paying 34 million. But when you go deeper into it, then they realize that when it comes to commercial rates, more businesses, we have 90+% compliance. When it comes to residential rates, more people's private property, we have less than 10% compliance. So issue more private houses are not paying, businesses are paying. But I think the same reality more I'm so new government. Government I'm so whole pay. Majority of government income is coming from businesses, and very few people are paying income tax, are paying personal taxes. So Gambia, this is the major issue. More pay majority of me who are complaining that I'm good healthcare, I'm good quality of education. They cannot show you that they have paid any taxes. Then you see that you pay tax. So
FIMOM council tax is mandatory. So you have a problem. You have a problem. You can even go to jail.
Your income is tax is deducted from
your income is taxed.
So Gambia, number one problem people are not paying individual taxes, whether be it property taxes or be it income tax. Now, so look into also our tax database, our rates database. Then they discover KMC has 35,000 residential properties. Only 12,000 of those residential properties are valued, meaning that the other 24,000 are paying empty plot rates, a flat rate of $750 a year, because they are not valued. Property rates, you have to value all the properties and they pay a percentage of that value, no more property rates. Now you also may take KMC 35,000 compounds, only 12,000 are valued, but then 24,000 is not valued. That's a major loss of revenue.
Yes.
Second problem is 12,000 buñ value, 2005 like Kogeja value.
Wow.
So another fundamental problem buñ am in our law, only the Ministry of Lands is allowed to value properties. So
Okay.
in our Rates Act is called the valuation rule. Every 5 years, the Ministry of Lands and Local Government should value all properties in the Gambia. All the properties in the Gambia, they then want to value every 5 years. And that information should be available publicly and should be available to the councils.
Yeah.
And that would have helped organize tax collection and also the real estate market. If you have a house in Gambia, you can sit in England, go on a database and see what is the current value of your house. So you have a basis of negotiation. So the real estate market them very well. And Gambian real estate, I think, is becoming a very large chunk of our GDP, real estate market. So to focus more on the property rates, so we only have 12,000 properties valued. That is 30% of our properties, and this is 2005.
Yeah.
Now, if in 2024, we can value, or the Ministry of Lands can value all these 35,000 properties up to date, that will increase our tax base or our revenue base threefold or fourfold. 400% increase, 300% increase. Because pay 2005, you also amount $1 million in a jar KMC. Best believe pay major maybe for 3 million. Because of the appreciation of value. The urban center, the demand of people who want to live here, they're high more than the supplies. Property values rise every year.
Every time,
Secondly, Ganao Lulu, for the last 20 years, from 2005 to date, the amount of development in KMC is astronomical. More the number of number of career developed. So Liep added to the increase in land valuations. The fact that if we valued all of KMC land and we applied our rates there, then our property rates will grow fourfold. Now, Gambia people don't want to pay taxes, but they must realize taxes more data they can develop. So today, if you complain about basic services, poor infrastructure, poor education, because tax revenue amount. The entire Gambia government, you collect 15 billion worth of taxes. That's $250 million or 200 million pounds. So take away Gambia, so the entire government send revenue is 200 million pounds. Can you imagine the savings? Even one rich person in England can earn
what Premier League footballer?
Exactly. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Exactly.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Wow.
Cristiano Ronaldo, luñ ko fay Saudi. It's more than Gambia government, luñ de am a year. And Halis more want to pay for education, more want to pay for tali, more want to pay for all this basic infrastructure. It's impossible to manage a Gambia with that much money. And lolu mean tamit mo nekane we need to take our country seriously. Munulo deka si deka am sa security fofu, am sa jëm kanam fofu, and bugulo contribute one butut. Après time wax su ñëwé ñodé da hawa. You know, so it is also fair to say that tamit ne government fok ñu build structures for people to pay taxes.
Exactly.
Because one thing I said in the council, nobody wants to pay tax, including me, the mayor. No human being in this world, that deki Tubabla, that deki Chinese, that deki African, nobody wants to pay taxes. But we have to create the structure in which people can pay, and we have to enforce.
Enforceability is the issue. Lack of enforceability.
It's the issue.
It needs to be enforced.
So basically, these are one of the things we are also working very hard on. When it comes to property rates, next year, we want to use the Google Plus codes in Amsikeri to start valuing properties on our own. And hopefully, when ministry values, we can compare, but we have no hope in value. But we are planning between now and 2027, we want KMC's revenue to reach $500 million. Right now, it's about $300 million. When I took office, it was about $100 million. Now it's 300. We are looking to get it to 500, which is roughly around £7 million to improve services and build more infrastructure.
Okay, thank you so much, Rodney. This is very interesting. One issue also, I know it's don't understand me because Senator Martin is no longer with him. Are you so relieved that she's now been redeployed to another place? Because that was a big issue for you and KMC. And again, maybe you can address the two questions together. And we know the commission is on, commission of inquiry that the president set up on the local government. There are a lot of permutations. People are saying this is politically motivated, purposely to target people like Talib Bensouda, to ban them if they have any aspirations in the future. You must have heard some of these things. How do you feel about this commission? And also, Senator Martin Songo's redeployment, was it? Are you relieved that she's redeployed to another place? It was a big problem. They had to commute Daji, Office B, and all those things. Are you so relieved that she left?
Well, I wouldn't say relieved. For us, we even said in the council, we did not want her to leave. We wanted her to be investigated as we had recommended. Something wrong has happened. Something was alleged. We want an investigation to happen. So Manlumale Nonwa was as simple as that. A lot of UDP people were very angry. The government sent their PIU. A lot of them wanted to react. A lot of them wanted to go there. And I tell them, no, book you. Because I don't work on tactics, I work on strategy. I know you can use physical force to get her to come to the council, but you're going to force us to work with her. And at the end of the day, council more authority for anybody to sign using our accounts. So as far as we don't give that authority, office and I said it several times, but I don't think government understood. So senior office would talk every day. You want a mayor? Can you give her signatory? No. So I think she demanded to be redeployed. But basically, what we wanted was the matter to be investigated fully, and those found wanting should face justice, and let the matter be resolved. Because we not investigating this matter, that they cause unintended consequences. Because everybody knows something has been reported and there was no outcome. It affects the governance of the council. It affects the effective administration of the council. And to date, we have internal problems still because this matter is not resolved fully. Now, on the commission of inquiry, I think Gambia, every department in this country, from the Jammeh days to date, should go under a commission of inquiry. Because the corruption is everywhere. The maladministration is everywhere. It is cultural. Starting from the State House down. State House should have a commission of inquiry. The parastatal should have a commission of inquiry. The ministry should have. Gambia is a country that is immensely corrupt. And it is not an issue now that individual be corrupt now, that individual be corrupt now. I think corruption has been institutionalized and has become a cultural phenomenon. So, pour the commission councils, or I think every institution should be commissioned if that's you want to know what's been going on internally, right or wrong. But more fundamental than commission of inquiry, because commission of inquiry, if I know them, but the fundamental problem is never addressed. More in a decade, we need to look at institutional reform as a major task we need to take on. We need to look at legislative reform as something we need to take on. We need to look at civil service reform as something we need to take on. Gambia government needs to be re-engineered. As far as that is not done, then you're victimized. But in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, history repeats because the checks and balances are not there. We have not built the structures, etc. So basically, why local government is targeted in this commission of inquiry, of course, it is politically motivated. It is obvious for everybody to see. The scandals that happen in other departments, Bena department scandal amsa, more than over the entire revenue of all local government councils combined. So whole airport authority, the scandal that is there. Amount of the scandal, I think it was 400 million or something, is bigger than all of local government authorities' same revenue combined. You look at the scandal that happened with the COVID money. You look at the scandal that happened at GAM Petroleum. Tens of millions of dollars. So you buy to the local government service commission. So it is politically motivated. But are there problems at the local government level? Is there corruption at the local government level? Is there maladministration at the government? Of course, but just like every other Gambian government department. So don't choose local government service commission. So, local government alone. You have to look at the entire country. But more fundamental rather than witch hunting people is to re-engineer Gambia government. And more than you elect the president, we elected Adama Barrow to bring reforms, constitutional reform, security sector reform, civil service reform, institutional reform. None of these things have been done. Some have started, we never heard about it again. So effectively, his time as president, if he cannot achieve these things, it would be wasted. Because as far as these things are not addressed, we are still running an ineffective and morally bankrupt system that does not serve the average Gambia. So that's my opinion on the local government service, on the Commission of Inquiry. But let's attend. I mean, it is good and healthy for it to happen. We are not saying it should not happen. We are saying that why just the councils? Why not across the board?
Yeah, Lord Mayor, we don't want to, without preempting, we don't know what the report would. I think the commissioner, the head, the chairperson of the commission is Jenna Baba. The Jenna Baba report, commission report, we will know what will be there. But the speculations are rife now that, well, this is Adam Barrow systematically targeting Yo Akrohilo. And obviously, we know with Young's thing, he brought back this issue to court. Okay. Do you guys have any fear that this commission report may found you and Rohilo wanting, to the extent that you guys could be, the white paper could come up with crazy recommendations? Because people are worried about that.
Yeah, well, I can't speak for Rohilo because I'm not in her council, but there's certainly no doubt that I have nothing to worry about. In terms of running the council, I actually run my council through structures. So I can't speak for other councils, but my council, everything is done by committees or the administration. So there's no place you will see the mayor has procured something or the mayor has instructed something. No, we work by a committee recommendation and council resolution. And when you look at council resolutions, council members are all immune by law from decisions they make at the council level because it's by vote. So basically, whatever they are planning, whatever they're thinking, I think it's wishful thinking and planning. But I always say, if you're doing right, you follow your conscience, and the law of the land is here for everybody.
True.
Unless they can engineer my signature or engineer something from scratch. There's just no evidence. There's just no evidence against me in particular. And they sometimes I laugh when people say they're going to ban you from what I said. Well, they can try because the courts are here for everybody. We're also well versed in navigating these issues. But I think if you look at the terms of reference of the Commission of Inquiry, it is actually on policy and administration. But the National Audit Office, you see, let me go back. The Commission of Inquiry is unnecessary. The reason I'm saying this, the more powerful institutions are the parliament and the police. These are already mandated by the Constitution to carry out certain functions.
True.
So the Finance Public Accounts Committee at the Parliament is reviewing the National Audit report.
Right now.
National Audit report should have found issues in every council. And if an issue, for example, of corruption is detected by the audit office, the parliament should now instruct the police to investigate that issue.
Yeah.
And just the police can arrest and charge. And then as a politician, if you're found wanting, you're done.
Exactly.
You don't need to go through a commission of inquiry.
Yeah.
But I think because they don't have evidence of any malpractice by the chairman and most mayors, is because they now realize we cannot open an investigation because there's no evidence. Let us create a commission and say they were negligent. All of this happened under their watch. So they're negligent. Maybe that is their motive. But
True.
that means that the government also is negligent because they have the oversight functions of the Ministry of Lands.
Yes.
They should have given the councils the powers to appoint and dismiss. They should have given the powers to fully control our councils. Then we can be held accountable. So I think it's just going to be a lot of noise, but I don't see anything coming out of this.
We wait to see how. Yeah.
It is healthy to also know some of the malpractice happening at the administrative level. This is why councils are saying we want HR control. You cannot manage that sub effectively.
True. Yeah, it's interesting. Lord Mayor, first of all, apologies because we've gone way beyond the time that I did say for you. But this is a rare interview that a lot of people, in fact, Alaji Ture, one of my colleagues in Sweden, put a question out there in the comment section. And I say, well, I have a question for the Lord Mayor, KMC. KMC paid $13.1 million his tax for the garbage trucks that the Lord Mayor imported into the country. KMC was wrong. These are his comments. I'm just reading word for word. KMC was wrongly taxed, and the Lord Mayor appealed personally to Adam Barrow. Did KMC get their money back? Is that his question?
No, we never got that money back, and we don't expect to get it back.
Wow.
But we all saw what happened. But anyway, what's more important is the project has been successful. We have paid all the trucks off. They're all fully owned by a council, and this is 2 years back.
Yeah.
So what matters is people are getting the service they need. And we want to make sure this is a legacy project, and when we are gone, this project continues and has wider coverage. But to answer your question, we have not been paid back.
Okay, Alaji, you've got the answer there. Lord Mayor, definitely. I've got one question in regards to UDP, and also a question about you, and then that's me done. You are the organizing secretary of United Democratic Party. We know we fought vigorously in 2021. Lord Mayor, everyone was saying 2021 was UDP's election to lose. You have we'll have President-elect Alaji Usainu Dabo 2021, and it came when December 5th came, a lot of disappointment. But one of the issues that in the diaspora here people kept asking, look at UDP when the electoral register was published. UDP did not rise in court. Some people said it falls under your purview as the organizing secretary. Maybe you can use this opportunity because New Body Belegi, they don't understand this allegation of the electoral register punctuated with allegedly non-Gambians, and Belegi, that's a concern. So while UDP, with all the noise that we made, Barrow, Mungeri, foreigners, when the list was published, we had opportunity to go to the revising courts to challenge it. It never happened. You're a member of the UDP executive.
Absolutely.
Look at definitely, because people are asking this question.
Well, I think everyone's absolutely right. 2021, what happened in terms of the registration. And I think still in UDP, there's a lot of understudy being done as to how to counter it. But the matter in terms of why it was not challenged, many of the party executives to date are ashamed of it, but it is not under my responsibility, unfortunately. The organizing team did their part along with the administrative secretary. We did our part, but at some point there was people did not act. So it's an internal matter. I think it was dealt with. At the executive level, we all know where the problems happened. Some said it was miscommunication, but we've learned from it. But the party leader has addressed it. But you're right, that was actually a major point of inefficiency on the part of the party. We made a lot of noise, but when the time came, we did not act. But it was part of the problems internally in terms of efficiency and communication. But I wouldn't want to put the dirty laundry out there.
I understand. I understand. I understand. We don't go. Yeah,
it's
that's fine.
happened
But some people thought probably we were too complacent as well. Complacency, like we thought
Yeah,
we
well,
won the
it
election.
was not complacent. I think the work was done, but it was not completed.
Okay.
So the work was done by the administrative secretary who led the process and the organizing team, and we had handed over to another team, but then it was not seen, it was not followed through. So internally we've dealt with it. Many people were disappointed. We know what happened, but it was an inefficiency that we hope.
I hope it will not replicate in 2026, though.
Well, I think it's too late, because what happened is the voter registration is the same one going to be used.
Or is the same one that's going to be used in 2026?
Maybe there'll be
because
a
it's done every 10
supplementary.
years. It's every 10 years.
Yes,
Yeah.
so there's going to be a supplementary, but it's the same voter
Supplementary.
registration.
Okay.
So
Lord Mayor, final question from me. You've made a declaration that you would not contest again for chairmanship. You're still young. A lot of people are happy with what you're doing. What prompted this? And I think this pronouncement was made by yourself, Landin Bisane, and Rohilo. People want to know the rationale behind this, because you're doing good work. And once people have it, it is no constitutional provision which says that you cannot vie for another term. Do you have? Is it because you want to give chance to other people, or what prompted this?
So basically, I think I was the first to pronounce this. I have said this quietly, even when I got elected the first time in 2018. In conversations with friends, even with the party leader, I told them I'm not going to do more than 2 terms, because I think we have to practice what we preach at every level. We are always advocating for 2-term limit at the presidential level, and we have seats. We already have seats that we can practice what we preach. We don't have to wait to be president to show that we are going to do 2-term limits. Right now, we have parliamentary seats, we have mayoral seats, we have councillor seats. There's no constitutional provision, but at the presidential level as well, there's no constitutional provision. So I think it's a matter of principle. If, as a party, we are saying that the president should not do 2 terms, more than 2 terms, we currently have positions, we hold elective positions, and we are doing 3 terms or 4 terms, then in terms of principle, we are not consistent. So during my first election, I told the party leader, when I came to the election, I told him again whether they took me seriously or not. But then I decided to make a public declaration, because I think in my second election, people want me, they want to vote for me, they like me, but some of them also have questions like, is this guy just going to keep coming back, or he has a plan he wants to execute within a time frame? So I felt the need, out of principle, to communicate and let people know that if you give me a second chance, this is my last term. I will set the groundwork for future council to come. And yes, we are still young, but politics should not be a full-time sport in my perspective. I think we must always have other engagements outside politics to be good politicians. I always think the best politicians are people who don't depend on politics to make a living. It should be a call of public service. So 2026, we hope things go our way. In that way, hopefully we can also explore new opportunities in Gambia government, wherever we can serve. If we can't serve, we will see how we can improve our society through activism, NGOs, even through business or whatnot. The need or the desire to serve one's nation does not only have to be in one form. It can be in many forms. Don't muna wax ne rek suma amut elective position, I'm not going to try to make my society.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was the purpose of the declaration. But then I saw the mayor of Banjul Tamu declare,
Yeah,
London
yeah.
declare, and I think it's nice. It's nice UDP as an opposition party. Man, suma ko munon sax. Let all the elective positions say 2 terms. I mean, this is
2
what we are
times.
calling.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
allow, because we are young, but in
Yeah.
opposition, you can stagnate.
Yeah.
Mayor KMC. At some point, I'm going to run out of ideas.
Yes.
At some point, I'm going to the top privilege of the position, but not the service to the people. But if I allow a new person to come, in a new energy, fresh ideas, he will push the thing further. So I think that's very important.
Thank you so much, Lord Mayor of KMC. This has been a very interactive interview. We're really, really very happy. Legi, I have finished my questions. There are still questions, but we cannot exhaust everything today. But I will now open the line. Let's say 10-15 minutes. Please call us all. I want to crave your indulgence. Don't make lengthy comments. Just be precise with your questions, because we have kept Mayor here for almost 2 hours. I did promise him that it was going to be 1 hour, but it's gone way beyond that. So now we've got Keba Sabali on the call. Keba Sabali is the first caller. Keba Sabali? Baraka.
Lord Mayor, Mangai
Fair
I'm content about it, and I'm again proud of you. What my dear men do in a diamola, and then at the very moment of Lord Mayor Bukati, but I can diamole with Sen, and don't I can diamole with touch. Abuka Corondo, can men cook in Lord Mayor. We are the cross no more, we have a madu long, and of course, because of the kind of leadership at American, I like character balance. In content about it, Tomagila, and for them. Having them monks who are on my back, among Angelica my back, I love never have it because you are down to and bring back a put a move. Then you car to the Malato. Those we are Malagan and the world in Chicago. Now 2027, you are not intending to be a candidate. But it never more than in that position. So, if Talib Ahmed Tamari Kamapo, Natra Nikela Sadisla, Ukajeto, Yajeto, KMC, Warango Mari, the Bitonomes of Lakajeto, KMC Tanya, to the Parena Walaba. My second question is, if you Lord Mayor, Nalum to West Coast Mula doing fiscality, in that sense, Yampuba Dabu, Najelo, Abitaka and Kitty and Malan Control. When you account, you when draw with Tanya and bring it out so called Muslim in the Yon. I'm not putting women down to them to know. I mean, we need a task for
Senator Martin Sonko.
Senabu bringing Senabu Benyon. No, so Tomadum, if I'm the Parera Bank, Kaka solidarity can be with Yankuba, so that no mean for Bitaji, Atila today, no come the Kajato, na Alpal Benyato Jamni, and bring other put if you can in solidarity with Yankuba. So, Anila works in the because I don't know today, you will be busy. But sometimes you can use the Puka and yellow in solidarity with each other, who come out in black people. When you can do, Atela Hino can come to the Kajato, and they will come. Those are my 2 questions. Thank you very much.
Lord Mayor, did you get the question? Because
I got the questions.
Okay.
So on the first question about 2027, yes, anybody who UDP takes, of course, is my supreme responsibility to make sure that I go with him, or him or her, house to house, to ensure that they win, to make sure that whatever political capital I have, my use code to make sure that person wins, because I'm part of a political party. UDP is the candidate I can support. On the second question, only Yankuba Dabo, he's a good brother. Every week we speak. Yesterday we spoke at length on different matters. We are collaborating very closely. But on the matter of his court case, cases then they in terms of the court, different levels.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is just the initial beginning of his case.
Mm-hmm.
But certainly we are in solidarity with him, we are in support of him. We are observing, and we will wait and see at the right time to go and show him support at the court level. However, Tamit, we are also waiting as a party for the party executive position on the matter, because the party executives meet on last time. I was not there. Understand that the case was discussed, but I don't think there's any position yet as to how to go about it. So basically, that's the second one. But I think Yankuba knows that certainly there's no doubt that we are in full support of him, full solidarity with him. Savali was arrested because of comments he had made regarding the case, along with Sirifo Bayo Sonko.
Yeah.
I was with them last Sunday while they were incarcerated to show them support. And this is a legal case. I think the best support the party can do is to prepare a very good legal team.
Yeah.
Because these cases, you have to work strategically.
Yeah.
They are not won at the court of public opinion. They are won at the court of law.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is to have a very good legal team to make sure that we fight the facts. Yankuba also has a very good strategy that he's working on. Of course, we can talk about it, but I think he's prepared good strategies at every level to counter whatever government comes up with. And like you said, we all believe that these cases are targeted for us. They are looking at other ways to suppress us. For him, probably this is the case.
Yeah.
But I think UDP is blessed with lawyers. The party leadership, the party is made up of lawyers. So we are waiting to see. Also, I'm not sure how the crowd. So, for example, when you look at my case against Gambia government, Supreme Court, I kept it very quiet. I caught them off guard and I won.
Yeah.
So sometimes with these cases, there's a strategy around it which I'll discuss with Yankuba. But I don't also think always making noise helps. I think having a good legal team is most important, because we don't want to make it too political. We also want to show that we are law-abiding, etc. But anyway, we will discuss and see how to go about it. But I think he has a good chance to win. He will win, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you, Lord Mayor. We have got a stream
Hello,
of
Bob.
questions coming. Bob Toure is here and Alaji Toure is on. Bob Toure, Bismillah.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum, Lord Mayor, Talib Bensouda. I have 2 questions, and this is going to be directed to Talib, our mayor, concerning Bakote. Bakote being one of the biggest ward within KMC. What is there for Bakote, Talib Bensouda? Because I know what we have done for you to elect you for the second time. Remember, our football field, the situation of our football field. What is the situation? What is keeping our football field still at this stage? Number 2, I'm sure you are aware of this Moyo field issue. That Moyo field near the, you understand, which is part of Bakote without no doubt. You know, I am a bona fide Bakotarian. Currently, my nephew is the Alikali of Bakote. You understand?
Oh, really?
So now,
Tijan?
what is this? Tijan, yes, Tijan is my nephew. You know, and you know, Jibril is my elder brother from the same mother. You know. So what is the situation? What is the situation?
I think I also found you sitting in Bakote once.
Yeah. That is at my Koto's place. Yes, yes. Exactly. So Mayor, what is keeping? Why do we have to let our land, that is the Moyo field, to be swayed to Serekunda Central for political compensation? And then also our football field over there. Please, that is only the 2 questions that I have for you. I thank you so much. And you know, you and I, we know we are all from Bakote, so we'll just make sure Bakote is there for UDP. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank
Actually, that's where I live at the moment. That's where I'm sitting. So anyway,
I know.
Bakote, like you said, with the Mboyo field, I'm not sure the Mboyo field is still not in Bakote. I still is still in Bakote. I think
It's in Bakode. Sorry, yeah, it is Bakode. But the thing is that they have gave the football field, the football field, to Serekunda.
Yes. So the problem is the name they're using, Serekunda Central Field, because KMC has 5 zones, and they are trying to make the football field as part of the Serekunda Central Zone, to make it a football field. The Alkali Tijan came to my office, including the councillor and the member of parliament. Tijan went to the ministry to dispute, but he never got back to me. So I don't know how far they've gone. But ministers have changed, because Musa Drame was the one there when the dispute started. Then Abasanyang came, then Usman Sow. So I'm not sure how far they've gone. But I know in terms of the development of the football field, you know, Bakari Baji was trying to use the Boyo field as a political tool to win. So they started a development there. I'm not sure how far they've gone. But I will ask Tijan. Nobody has brought it up till today. But I will ask Tijan again how far they've gone with the dispute with the ministry.
Okay, Bob.
So how about the football? How about the football field, the main football field? Because I understand that there's also some hurdles there.
Yes. We started a project there. It was delayed because we were finishing Bakau, Talinding, and Kanifing. But those other 3 are finished almost. So I think now, if you go there, you will see there's movement starting at the Bakote field. And just 2 weeks ago, Africell have agreed to build a basketball court and outdoor gym at that same field. So I think hopefully by the time you return, there will be major developments there, inshallah.
All right then. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Sew. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Bob. We have got now Alaji Toure. Alaji Toure is the next caller. Alaji. The gentleman calling me with a direct number. Yeah. Alaji, go ahead, please.
For the sake of diversity, I would. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we are hearing you. Go ahead, Alaji.
Yeah, but I want to ask the Lord in Wolof for the sake of diversity.
Wow. Yeah, because I have to put the phone on the speaker so that the mayor can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lord Mayor, Tamala Bugal Lodge for the sake of diversity and other listeners. Tamala Lodge chi Wolof, small Wolof about now. I had not tried here.
No, Abana.
Limala Bugal Lodge, mine KMC. You have a lot of informal business. That's a council will be ambient plan to integrate the informal business into the formal business to increase tax revenue. I'm going to mean informal business because there are a lot of informal business around. You know, for business you know, so it's also integrated formal business. It would increase tax to KMC. The next question, the KMC, the richest municipality in Gambia, that for example, let's say URR or LRR, Munanyo loan from KMC with interest. Is that possible? So they can bugananyo the certain development. The KMC, legally, Munanyo lep Harris the LRR to make certain developments. More small question. Nary question, you know.
Okay, thank you, Alaji. Thank you.
Okay, on the first question, KMC dafa bari petty traders, you bari uncountable numbers. There's a lot of tax revenue loss because petty traders then they identify properly. So we are looking at our license tariff again. So last 3 weeks, I think we had a finance committee meeting. So dañu bëgg update.
Hold on, Kijera, hold on.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hold on. Yeah, sorry, Mayor. Hold on, Kijera. Yeah.
Waaw dañu bëgg update suñu license tariff bi to try and incorporate all these petty traders. But also, am na ñu nga xam ne nag they are already situated in illegal areas or areas buñ bëggoon ñu toog because they're obstructing the road, etc. We don't yet have the enforcement capacity for move them from there. But we don't also want to validate them by taking their money because once nga jël xaalisam rek, it means where they are occupying is okay. But there's a lot of growth in that area as well, more informal business operators. Now, the next question be about how if we can finance rural councils. Well, I don't think there's anything stopping us from giving them loans other than the Finance and Audit Act. So, ñun suñ local government act bi dafa am section bu wax ne a council cannot take a loan from any entity without the express approval of the ministry. So that would impede on our ability to give loans to other people. But the truth of the matter is KMC has so many problems and so many demands that we are not yet generating enough revenue for muna door di jox loans to other regions. Because we have so many problems in our region that are unsolved. That is the reality. One day, as I was talking to Sadie Lee, if we can fix our revenue base for make sure the revenue be grown and no more at all, maybe at that point we can have some funding that we can give other councils. But we do try to support, especially during this Sirifo Sonko days in Birkama. All the border towns of Birkama, you know, they collection rubbish. So you Sukuta, you Nema, you Willingara, you look at Kersering, all these areas we do the waste collection, even though it is KMC trucks. This is a sister council, Birkama especially, because we are very concerned about what happens in West Coast because it directly impacts us. So, and I'm very happy in Yankuba Nyona because it's UDP. Because collaborating is easy. There's no political push and pull. Just last week, my deputy mayor had a meeting with him in his office. Next week, Thursday, I'm going to Birkama Area Council to meet him in his office to discuss strategies. So we have a very close collaboration. But other than that, we don't get sorry unless our tax base increases a lot. We cannot really help them.
Thank you. I have got one of your biggest supporters here in Holland. I don't know. I think you know him, Alaji Kijera. I think he was one of your people who endorsed you. He is non-UDP, but he's a big supporter.
I went to his house.
You went to his house, yeah. Alaji Kijera, Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Sefu.
Inimbara.
Inimbara ngi konton inela UDP Bantaba TV.
Abaraka.
Na ilungamba konton menketa Lord Dayoti. Na one and only one. Na konton na ziare. Ani UDP duntol be ngalbe konton ngalbe tempo ngalbe jay.
Abaraka.
Nte senten de madron foka konton dron aning ala victory men ayasoto. Anin doku kendo men abate kan Gambian ko especially KMC. No tambi da faranka a tayi fanan ala loken no me yalon ko ayata mo me yalon ko fenta wallo mi sego nte buka mo support me yalon ko mo kensegalo mo support nte kala fi mo le me yalon ko ay bala faso ko ay miro so talibe kukirin wala yatinna ala ko dun tan na ko dabala nyaaji na lumena alota ako ye moto le sanga e me yalon ko it's too expensive asita abala moto kono abe mira kan abe tande ka ko sai mun be kala nyaadi ndame moto ta ser li bor la nyaadi waro me yalon ko bolle ente dun jim place ko wol kante jey moto kono so ntela na janga ba yilole so bring ayo for wallahi nyaadi ko ta ngalo nako Alhamdulillah, the future is bright for him also.
Yeah.
and then nalo nako abe KMC abe legacy like it.
Yeah.
And nga tentu nga jay nge fanan tentu nge jay na patio mo betentu.
Abaraka kijera.
Para ko talibi en kombe letaro kila en.
Yeah. Ibe letaro kila e.
Mbe letaro kila ya basa mala usita boya.
Ibe letaro kila basa mala party leader ya. Okay, no problem.
Maybe it's an application to join UDP.
Maybe it's an application to join UDP. Maybe. Abaraka kijera. Abaraka. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, I don't take the final caller. Usman from Crawley here. One said he wants to ask a question. Apologies to the other callers. We are almost 2 hours 45 minutes into this show. It's late. I cannot take all of you, but I'm going to take Usman Suare as the final caller into the show, and then we will just wrap up the show today. Usman, Bismillah, I have question on your link. Usman, ila device so you can off.
Okay,
yeah, go ahead. You go after your link. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you.
So your contribution to development of the Gambia is excellent. We would like to tell you to keep it up. Okay, the question I have, last time you guys said that you had a project like to open a radio station in KMC to sensitize the citizens about their rights and to pay their taxes on time. How far is that project? And the second question is then, most of our lands now are given to the foreigners to invest within the KMC and the race courses. Is there any mechanism that you can stop those people not to give our land to the foreigners? And most of them, they get the land without following the due process, because most of the estate agents, they just get the land from there. They invest it to get a lot of money from those estate agencies, and some of them they don't fulfill the constitutional requirement. So does the KMC has the power to stop that one? That's my second question. Not a Lord Mayor Samuel Marco, no. Already along your back. The Bible, foreigner canalica, Lano, KMC. Yana invest a Kolijama Basso, and you cannot stop to the second time coming with Alphamol in the Kiwab. The canal and the new Luamen development. Can you move by invest like you have to use Gambia now in partnership? But no cannot do it. Cannot see the Gadilla. So, look at KMC, a blood mayo, I own Dago, and radio station on you, men to that program.
Okay, I'm Usman. Yeah, thank you. Baraka, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Usman. So the radio station has been completed for the past 8-9 months, even during my election. Antenna Bijogna, we have fully kitted it. It has all the tools it needs. So Pura refused to give us a license. I went to appeal to the Ministry of Information. They said there's an embargo on all licenses from 3 years back or 4 years back. We applied for an exemption. So basically, the radio is still shut down. All the tools are there. It is fully ready. But what we've done now is then you decide to start an online radio for now. So then we have added some extra tools to make it an online radio until hopefully the situation changes. Radio. Actually, right now we are recruiting a manager and talk show host. But now the committee will finalize that next week. So the radio should start its online broadcasting in the next 1 month or so.
Wow, wonderful.
Now, in the issue of the lands and foreigners, right now, constitutionally, there's a land section, the Lands Act, in the Constitution, etc., about how land should be governed. But my opinion is, as far as I'm concerned, no land should be allocated. Because how do you justify taking land that belongs to all Gambians and giving it to one person for their personal benefit? So, man, I believe that all lands owned by a government should be sold at the value, at the right value. And that is also a source of income for government to develop the country. So, lu nga xam ne ñëpp ñoo ko moom nga jël ko jox ko benn nit under the pretense ne dafa employ Gambians, dafa def business, and you know, you really a lot of them do they gis ban benefit lañ dee am si society bi sax. So I don't see how a land can be allocated to just one person for their own private gain at the expense lu nga xam ne mbooloo moo ko moom. So what is more important for me, if Gambia has land resources just like ñu am jën si géej bi, just like ñu am suuf si beach bi, anything that is owned by the government, which means it is owned by Gambians, let us sell it for the price of the day. So even though nit jëna na ko, we know the money has gone into the coffers of Gambia government and use those monies to develop. But as we speak right now, sir, there's land scarcity for even public use. Jaay nañ land si, jaay nañ, allocate nañ yep. There's no more land now to even for public use. So I think that you want to hold land governance, and this is part of the reforms I've been talking about. They need to reform how land is managed in this country.
Yeah.
Secondly, also, I think Usman is totally right. We have seen many lands that have been allocated to individuals who turn around a few years later and sell it for millions of dollars, some millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And the lands which allocate individual for development purpose, they do not develop it. After 5 years, 10 years, they go and sell it to, like you said, a foreign business person for millions of dollars or millions of dollars. So you have used public land and made an individual a millionaire with no benefit to the average Gambian. So I think these are something they should look at. And a land commission is something that should have even been forced before a local government commission.
Absolutely.
Any sector in the country.
Well, when it comes to this government, it's all about misplaced priorities. But Lord Mayor, thank you. Thank you for your time on Bantaba today. We really appreciate it. And I think moving on, I should also have Chairman Yankoba Dabo here. I know he's so busy with this court case. We will have him on Bantaba and Lord Mayor Banjul, and we'll just go around to have our elected officials here.
Absolutely.
Why Lumala what advice do you have for UDP family moving on to 2026? Then you can do your closing remarks as well, and then you dialogue.
Well, my advice to the UDP is the future is ours, but we need to really dig deep, unite party, to stay together, to have one agenda, one vision, one mission. 2026, more than even 2021, is really possible for UDP to have a government. It is more possible in 2026 than 2021. However, the only thing stopping UDP is UDP. We have to, one, build mend fences and unite the party towards a common goal. Two, we have to control our voices. We have to control the messages we send out there. I was talking to Modu Sabali when he was in prison. Monaco, every day the Barrow government scores own goals. Every day things are harder in Gambia. I was just from my father's house, and he was telling me, so they give I'm not pabu them back door. Monaco, leave back door, minimum back with it. Monaco, why? For several days, I haven't had light or water. You know, so the country is so terribly managed. The government is bankrupt. Everybody knows it, and they're keeping it a secret. So, UDP, we don't need to talk. We just need to watch them. We just need to watch them. And 2026, Gambians will know this government cannot continue, and they need a new government. But if we take their bait, guiding human raw and react and we will fall in the trap. We no longer talk about the mess they have created, but we keep talking about UDP is an aggressive party, UDP is a tribalist party, UDP is this, UDP is that, all because we could not control our voices. So I think that is second, after we unite, we really need to control our voices. And third, we need to focus on a Gambian agenda. We need to start talking about young problems that you'll fix, what kind of policies we will bring, what vision we are going to introduce when we are government. We have to start selling that on a daily basis. And proving to Gambians that we are also not just about our membership, our core membership. We are here for all Gambians. So I think this four-step process, if we perfect it, there's absolutely nothing that can stand in the way of our party. I know it's a big party, it can be sometimes very difficult.
It's difficult to manage our people.
But we should try, because this chance is our chance. And I spoke to party leader the other day. I think he called all 4 chairmen there. Mayor Banjul was there, Yankuba was there, I was there, Landing was there. And I told him, look, party leader, Landing has declared that he's not coming back. I have declared, Rohi has declared. Manako 2026, a lot of the old guard, after that, will probably retire or take a backseat from politics or send activity that because they're also getting into their elderly years. So after 2026, if we are not in an incumbency position, 2027 will be very difficult for the party because we don't have incumbencies in mayors. So presidency, UDP, them fenen, high chance we will find it very difficult in local government elections and all of the other elections. So we really, really, really need to go to the drawing board to make sure that this one chance we don't miss it.
2026 is absolutely crucial.
Wow, yes, because the dynamics will change after 2026. So we really have.
And again, we are not going to. It's not in our interest. We don't. Yes, you form a party to govern. We don't want to be in the opposition for the rest of our lives. We have to come together and do our every best to make sure that 2026 is ours.
And 2020 after 2026, if we get it, I believe UDP will be around for 100 years.
It's going to be difficult. I think that is
10
a given.
years and hands over. 10 years and hands over. That's where we want to be.
Inshallah. Wow, thank you, Lord Mayor. Thank you for your time. I'm not time for of the family.
No,
being a politician is not easy, and being a leader is not easy. Why this has been a very great interview, and a lot of people are very happy.
Thank you.
Lord Mayor. Good night.
Thank you, Sylvie.
Bye to everyone. Thank you. Okay, Barigolu, la braka bake, the program kumfala janne, Bamba member Germany, Ngela called you, but obviously not line on closely, because we can just keep the Lord Mayor here for 3 hours. Ameta janne. It's been a very productive interview. Thank you so much. Almost 940 people watched this show on YouTube and Facebook combined, and right now 837 people are watching me on YouTube, and it's been widely watched. Thank you to the callers, and my apologies to those who call in, but I could not take your calls. So now a lot of questions have been asked, a lot of questions have been answered, particularly this Buruhaha about the nomination. Lord Mayor has cleared the air because it brought a lot of controversy within us. So now I think the matter has been addressed, and this is like this audio will be recorded in the audio forums. Ngalong ko angale kan jamale fotaje, but by and large ngalong hani nyomi ngolo fonbe angale kan mo ila le sign be kare angale kan mo ila le lafita announcement all dole kala jang. I know UDP Congress is imminent. UDP chapter Congress on the 7th of October. Inshallah, very close, and we'll have a Congress as well. Gas chapter will have a Congress and fundraising on the 28th, and Spain chapter will be here on Thursday. Members of the Spain chapter will be my guest on YouTube Online Bantaba. Thursday, Benarajan, the Spain chapter, Nyabali and his team will be here to talk about their program in the Congress on the 4th of November. So it's already got a and I should also have UDPA chapter again be here before the Congress. Lamin Summit and our team they will be here for the second time to talk about the forthcoming Congress in London. So all eyes on London, in Zurich, Spain, but Malo for Barcelona. I haven't confirmed the date, so this is actually coming. Okay, there is another thing. This is personally for Maricham Mane. Mbitang Bob Ture yal challenge le mbitang olo sukuta nkulu ako alaftanga program organized bantaba sukuta versus Gunjur. But I'm a bit difficult at the program of moderate because I'm going to be biased because so maybe one day if I will moderate that program or maybe Tunko. But Bob Tureko Sukuta versus Gunjur, facts and fictions. It's gonna be Sanawiya Kacha. Gunjur Gold ni Sukuta and Mafode Cham has accepted the challenge. The program organized then so we will have Sukuta versus Gunjur. Bob Ture in Alajane, because he has a lot to expose about Sukuta. So, but Maricham Mane is ready. I will bring it on. So, no program on Zamalananjane. But it may be very difficult at fronting and moderate because I may be biased. So, Bob Ture, they will not try us. So, Allah Barakabaka will have that program one day. Fabekala 1 hour to but now will be doing Kunjur versus Sukuta on YouTube and Bantaba. So Allah Barakabake, thank you for your time. Tomorrow, Current Affairs show will be back when we have a lot of issues to talk about, particularly in regards to this unfortunate incident made along the Gambia. There are a lot of issues coming out right now. The police are not telling us much. The accused, the lawyer is Sefero Kele, accusing Yantatala Mile 2, but apparently Masamba Mile 2, Usman Bojang. The accused may allegedly Mansakunda ko Atalo Modi may in PI officer Alpha. But the interesting thing is, good night, Senator Nyai. Thank you so much. Thank you. So the good thing is, the unfortunate thing is we don't know the situation with Gas Usman. Some people are saying, and these are not my words, word out in the street, they're saying possibly he's not the person. People are accusing, people are alleging drug operation that went wrong. We don't know. I don't know the veracity of it. I'm not going to stick my neck out for anything, but audios are out in public domain. But the onus is on Gambia government to try and do speedy investigation on this matter. Gambian people ought to know the truth about how these PIU officers got murdered callously by an unknown gunman, or at least they are now accusing somebody. The due process of the law has to take its course. If this man has been, the court has ordered for him to be put in Mile 2, that has to be. And it's very sad if you have a government that is flouting court order. Apparently, I heard from the grapevines that some of the judges are upset about this. Some of the judges are upset that the government is flouting the court order. Some judges are very unhappy about this. I heard it from the grapevines, but we will know the veracity of this. And the journalist commentator Jululu may charge that we'll see how that case is going to pan out as well, because and it raised questions. What is the government hiding? Some people are saying because the same government in Atiko, they want the general public to help them in terms of investigations, but now it looks like the gentleman went and did interviews and they don't want that to be out. I don't know what they are concealing. We don't know. But I also want to take this opportunity. My sister Maria Masamate, it's her birthday today. Happy birthday to Sister Maria Masamate. At the beginning, though we did it on Facebook. Happy birthday to her. So my program it's 3 hours on the clock. It's 16 minutes past 10 right now in the UK. 16 minutes past 11 in Europe, 16 minutes past 9 in Gambia. We'll have current affairs so proper tomorrow. Let's pray for our country. Gambia needs prayers. We have a dysfunctional government. We have a government that is, I said it during my interview with Talib, 90% is so preoccupied with UDP Kele. We wish lawyer Yanko Badabo all the best of luck tomorrow, second court hearing. Like I said, let's go and stand in full solidarity with her. Sorry, with him rather, not her. I beg your pardon. With somebody distracted me. I made a comment on Facebook about happy birthday, Mariama. So that's what distracted me. We say solidarity with Yanko Badabo. Let's say solidarity with him. But let's be orderly. Let's respect let's be law abiding. And again, use your smartphones as evidence. Aman nafa soto ya for moye lipa pia you officer lipa nimang evidence soto. Evidence is very important in this day and age. Ninga evidence soto abe mako ilale. Ibajala hani ni manza kuna boteji. Ni mari lafta case ni sambala court to seek redress in the courts. Is okay nole. Many opportunity for Nantala. Atol meme diaspora. Ku jamala kake jangal buka kalamuta. UDP diaspora iba kataka bakele. Amanke ko because of mbijele. Kunung ntolbe meeting for 5 hours. 5 hours. Bob tourists watching. Moment baby wo committee to. Yela watu lebule yela watu under the leadership of Mafole Cham. Katara telephone call or katara meeting for 5 hours a be pro patio makoi. And the party is coming out with grand plans fundraising. UDP diaspora executive. We'll give details of that. But men kumayata jamba fulale because mojamalaka moy every chapter is asked to contribute $25,000 by 31st of December. Love to really let them match it from the UDP diaspora. Chapter bejang. Allah representative for Nyanto update deal by now. December 31st. UDP diaspora fundraising. Chapter $25,000 is every chapter should contribute that to UDP diaspora. And 2024, 2025, 2026, when we have grant plans. Komenka Menke. Our chapters all almost 200,000 every chapter. Nyanto donate lale 2024, 2025, 25 to prepare ourselves for 2026. But events all a lot of representatives all in the chapter reps also. Nyanta ni kibar sindilalma every chapter nalma mo nalama bandaba. Alafa ko se ho se dile announce janne but alman fem fonye. Chapter rep ibe na WhatsApp group ko the honor is on you. The honor is on you. For your information on the chapter. Because we are one family. UDP diaspora bemo family killing chapter solo bejele puga UDP diaspora makoi. But the chapter solo kill bela cool ke kanne is a cool ke no but yeah make sure was a basic work hand in glove. In unity lies our strength. Ni UDP diaspora na ranyola ne menkela no wolebe bora la chapter kilinti. Nga example di jane lumen na nisana jaju yo teleton ke. MB Kurbali na la Timo ani Mustafa Shila ito lebe na fundraising iba kataka mbakele. Ye grand plans also tole. So bring our teleton kenon mayor election. Ngama lunkini will be able to raise over $10,000, $12,000, $13,000. Chapter killing te okela no jam. A chapter man sembe so the UK chapter takele no Finland takele no gas takele. Maybe gas from about all the banku nani leti. Seattle chapter maybe I don't know. But I will call it within 4 hours, pro chapter killing oyo kujama. Baribaji na nimbena together. Nise kujama ken. Waladna alinga work together. Allah representatives will make the chapters of Alkari Nininga, Alkari challenge. In fact, don't wait for them to tell you. Ni famate my information on Alfane Nininga. Allah chairman and Allah secretary and Allah representative for Ali Nininga. Chapters or diaspora chapter Monefo. What is the update? It works both ways. You are just waiting for information. Let's work hand in glove. Melbourne executive all iba katakanne time all men fonko spend meeting bla biaji be bi kunun tolnga meeting okay 6 hours almost 5 hours being another meeting was sort of 1.5 hours in media pool That meeting from 3 o'clock here to 4:30. And last night we were in the meeting for 5 hours. So it's so time coming, but it's all Pruka UDP Maui. So behind the scenes, Doku Jamale Kake, diaspora called executive Molba, and Mala Nyanta Mone for all Yindiko, Ghana just until I fit a palazzo, la palazzo. Doku all important. Okay. Near palazzo muda, you need to deliver. Okay. Alabrakabage, be program kumfala janne for summer. Alenga work together. Because we have to come and Lord Mayor Avonyaming 2026 Kumaya battle UDP. We can't afford not to get this in the bag 2050. On the 19th of October for now, the protest killer London on the 19th of October. London plans are afoot, but the protest la Gambia High Commission, Foreign and Commonwealth Office, Mbitala Nigerian High Commission, lateral Safetale, then the brother content do the Jawani Mealango, he helped a lot in that. The Tunko Marina of Content Mealango, he facilitated everything, organized everything, and the whole team, Fat Wale Wol, Malik Mani Wol, Mele Alko, Group Okono, Penda Wolu, and Mo Bay, Samba Kuru Jawani Wolu, the whole team, the team of Bay for no Mama din Sisa Wolu. To make sure that this protest is realized. Protest on it will go ahead, inshallah. Whether people heed it or call, I expect people to heed or call. But the process, inshallah, will go ahead. We will put our demands out there. We will be out there on the 21st, on the 19th of October. So on that note, good night from this part of the world, southeast of England. Allah Brakabake. The man is some of an doctor click while Lulu Mom do never interview. I apologize to you guys because Chairman Young Staba was supposed to be on Friday, but he traveled from the US. Young Wandifa is the one who is coordinating this interview. Wandifa Sani, my colleague. So I'm going to get to Wandifa to finalize things with Chairman because the UDP Bantaba we have division of labor. I was in charge of Talib's interview, and Wandifa is in charge of Chairman Young Staba interview. So I get updates from Wandifa, but I will talk to him so that we can get this sorted. Chairman Young Staba needs to run, and we'll also try to bring Rohilo, Sumadal Pur Banjul, and Chairman Landin Bisane. We'll go around and try to bring our elected officials here to come and talk to you guys. Allah Barakabake. Good night from this part of the world. Allah Barakah.
Ale fonsaje de.
Ale fonsaje.
Ale fonsaje.
Ale fonsaje.
Munaninte bota maili tu.
Ale fonsaje.
Ite beden kili jumale lala.
Ale fonsaje.
Ni useni fata dami.
Ale fonsaje.
Nte jukuna nyanta fala jele.
Ale fonsaje.
Mandela do kuoke. Gambia bebe jele da. Gambia baby say ore lume na mandela minada wolunta be pipeline birinda bo sanka julojita akonte nganta tube wolumonu be kampata bari wolya mamari wolo woli ba mamari wolo ala be jinkela manso be jinkela Ale Bonsajele. Keme senja menyoli bea. No koinja yuole. Ye pala sonko nyule. Ye Ale Bonsajele. Ayeji.
Okay, la Barakabaka, made opportunity to tell a Canada in Conton Binta Baragini, member Wisconsin, UDP Wisconsin chapter adopted mother. Be content back here, Fanakata Kola, come be patio, be content, be dembo content, Jimbe Dimbal be content. Abarakabake, Ben Darlin do content, be Germany, Hadija to Bailaba, be content, Ben a cousin be content back. Abarakabake, thank you so much to everybody. Alangado Mandoman wrong. na darling do be UK jam mama be kontona. So Allah barakatake, thank you so much to everybody. And like I said, I'm going to wrap up the program. Pinto Princess Bahama me Gambia me kontona bake our konti saho me Gambia me kontona fana mo yuri online banta bala fan bale de faxla darling me kontona bake. Zainab Gane me Gambia me kontona fana mo yuri online banta bala big fan neti but bio majere man Zainab Jusumala tay hina sallahu bi mo java, or maybe you're watching, I didn't see you. Thank you to everybody, all the fans of UDP Online Banter. I cannot obviously acknowledge everybody, but we have a very big fan base in Leeds, in Bristol, in Italy, in Germany, all over. Thank you to all the fans. Malayalam platform or GB. Allah Barakabaki, thank you for your time. And fans all in Spain, maybe United States, maybe Africa. Massive thank you to all of you. On that note, good night. Allah Barakah.
Ale fonsaje de.
Ale fonsaje.
Ale fonsaje.
Ale fonsaje.
Munaninte bota maili tu.
Ale fonsaje.
Ite beden kili jumale lala.
Nuina sma harit bi sanadin nuina la sma harit ya fatu sani nuina la buba hapa domi ajaratu yam dogi ya malaniu domi ajaratu yam sex sanadin nuina la London. Jërëjëf Jeff. Thank you for everything that you're doing for us. We also want to acknowledge all our guests. How many they accept to be our guest, our patrons, special guest, Father of the Night, Lady of the Night in our forthcoming event. Appreciate Naiko Tarab. Allah Barak.
Munaninte bota maili tu.
Ale fonsaje.
Ite beden kili jumale lala.
Ale fonsaje.
Ni useni fata dami.
Ale fonsaje.
Nte jukuna nyanta fala jele.